hands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I know what you're expecting to hear right now, the announcement of today's KSVIP. Well, I don't have a name for today, and I need your help. If you know someone who needs to be recognized for being a very special person, call right now, 746-2751. Ask for Tana and schedule a KSVIP. Your special someone will be recognized at this time all day long on their day, and they'll receive a flower courtesy of Lovebud Floral in Artesia. So call today and schedule your KSVIP.
They see me mowing my front lawn. I know they're all thinking I'm so white and nerdy. Think I'm just too white and nerdy. Think I'm just too white and nerdy. Can't you see I'm white and nerdy? Look at me, I'm white and nerdy. I wanna roll with the gangsters, but so far they all think I'm too white and nerdy. Think I'm just too white and nerdy. Think I'm just too white and nerdy. I'm just too white and nerdy. Really, really white and first in my class there at MIT. Got skills, I'm a champion of D&D. MC Escher, that's my favorite MC. Keep your 40 out, just have an Earl Grey tea. My rims never spin. To the contrary, you'll find that they're quite stationary.
So is it time? Is it time to get started? Hey, good morning. Welcome once again to the Good Morning Artesia radio show. We are rolling on through, what is today? Wednesday. Hey, we've made it all to Wednesday, and we've got a busy day coming up. Looks like I forgot my phone. Oh, I know where it is. It's in the room on the other side of Jeffrey there, but I think I can manage without it just this minute. Coming up this hour, we will chat with one of our principals, administrators, somebody with the Artesia Public Schools. That'll be coming up this morning in the 7:45 slot. 8 o'clock hour. It is, let's see. Huh? Oh, I thought it was in the FM studio. You sure? I don't know. I'm hitting the old homing beacon. iPhones have a homing beacon on them. And it may be back where I got my coffee. It was on the back table? Yeah. Okay. So good thing we have a homing beacon on iPhones. Yeah. So thank you very much. Good news, we have a homing beacon. Let's see. Yesterday was the first Tuesday, so that's county commission, right? First and third is the county commission, second and fourth is the city council. So we ought to have County Commissioner John Henry with us today. And then I did get word, Jeffrey, we will not have a CVE segment today as they are up at the Eastern New Mexico State Fair in Roswell today. And what a busy day yesterday. Yesterday we had two different events, or was it one event that we streamed yesterday? No, we had two events that we streamed yesterday. We had the pigs. Yeah, we had the pigs yesterday. And then we had the meat, goat, and breeding doe show. So it was a long day yesterday for the video crew at the Eastern New Mexico State Fair, as the market swine and the meat, goat, and breeding doe show were yesterday. Coming up today, the Market Lamb Show. So the Market Lamb Show will be this morning at 8, and that looks to be the only show that we have set to stream today from the Eastern New Mexico State Fair. Then tomorrow we've got the Good Morning Artesia, the Mornings with Mike Winters, the Beef Heifer, and the Market Steer shows are tomorrow. Friday, I don't think they have anything on Friday. Well, they may have something on Friday, but it's not live. It'll be recorded and then uploaded for a simulated live broadcast after it's recorded. And then the Junior Livestock Sale is on Saturday morning at the Eastern New Mexico State Fairgrounds in Roswell. But if you want to go back and watch shows from the fair this year, the Meat Goat Breeding Doe Show, the Market Swine Show, the Dairy Heifer Show, and the Dairy Goat Show have all been streamed, and they're all available on the Eastern New Mexico State Fair channel at KSVPTV.com. Volleyball swept Ruidoso last night, 3-0. We had that on the channel last night. And then soccer, I got ready to head out to the soccer complex, and it started raining. So I ran to the house, thought I'd change clothes. Then it started thundering, and I texted somebody I know that was there, and I said, hey, what's up? And they said, well, we're in a delay. Not sure what's going to happen. And it continued to rain, and it continued to rain, and it was raining, and got towards the end of the volleyball game, and I said, hey, what happened? We're getting ready to start. And I'm like, well, crud, I'm not there. And it was still kind of raining out there, and I don't know about you, but I didn't really feel comfortable taking some high-dollar camera equipment and being outside in the rain, so I didn't head back out to soccer last night. They did win. Boys won. They beat Portales 5-0. So that was a good win for the boys soccer team that played late last night, but they did get the game in against Portales. So when we look at the boys soccer standings now in District 4-4A, Lovington beat Goddard, so Lovington is 3-0. Goddard is 2-1, Artesia is 1-2, and Portales is 0-3. This Lovington, let's see, Lovington will be at Portales on Saturday, and Goddard will be at Artesia on Saturday. Both games are scheduled for 2 o'clock. It was 2-1. Lovington beat Goddard on October 4th, which was last night. And Artesia, and Artesia won last night as well, 5-0. So, second half of district soccer gets underway on Saturday. Lovington will be at Portales, and Goddard will be at Artesia. And as long as it's not raining, lightning, thundering, or anything crazy like that, Jeffrey and I will be there on Saturday to stream that game. Girls soccer, let's see, they're 6-10 overall, and in District 4-4A they are 1-1, and they lost to Goddard on Saturday 2-1. Next up for the girls will be Thursday. That's the next round of district games as they finish out the first half of district soccer. Goddard will be at Portales on Thursday at 4 o'clock, and tomorrow at 6 o'clock, Lovington will be here to take on our girls. And Lovington girls are 1-1, Artesia's 1-1, Goddard is 2-0, Portales is 0-2 in girls district. So Goddard going up to Portales If Goddard wins, they'd be 3-0 through the first half of the district girls soccer. And Portales pulls off the upset, they'd be 2-1. And that means the winner, if there's a winner, not a tie, in the Artesia-Lovington game, that team will either be a half a game behind or tied with Goddard for the lead in the girls' district with second half of the season to go. All right, let's, is it going to rain anymore today? Steve-O, get in here, give us a forecast, tell us about our rain probabilities.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Stationary front just off to our north. We have low pressure off to the south and moist air coming in today. And that means some showers and thunderstorms around, especially this afternoon. 70 for the afternoon high. Showers and thunderstorms will continue for the overnight hours and will drop into the mid-50s, and then cloudy with a few lingering showers possible on Thursday. Low 70s, some more showers Friday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Looking at the old radar, we're kind of in between two areas of rain. You get down around Brantley Lake, Seven Rivers, back through the Carlsbad area, there's some rain activity. And then you get west and to the north of Artesia, up into Chaves County toward Roswell, there's some rain activity and some pretty good rainfall back over in Lincoln County. So a little bit of rainfall in the area, and just putting our radar into motion here. I'm just going to look at it while we contemplate. All this area of rain is moving north, so we could see a little bit of rain activity here in the next hour or so this morning out of this storm. Right now, we're looking at cloudy skies here in Artesia. I should open this up earlier. 58 degrees. Possible light rain coming up here in a little bit. Our humidity is at 82%. The dew point is 53. Winds are out of the north at 4. Pressure's at 30.04 and steady. And I'm looking at the live video feed from east of town. Somebody let him know that he's on TV. That crewman out there. I don't recognize that guy. Yeah, somebody need to tell him, wave at him, say, hey, you're on Candid Camera. I wonder if I activated the microphone on the camera, if he would hear us. Cloudy and 60 in Carlsbad, drizzle and 58 in Roswell, cloudy and 58 in Hobbs. Around New Mexico, drizzle and 53 in Albuquerque, rain and 46 in Santa Fe, drizzle and 44 in Cloudcroft, 46 in Ruidoso with some drizzle. Mostly cloudy, 56 in Las Cruces, mostly sunny, 47 in Farmington, 37 and drizzle at Red River. And in Clovis, it's cloudy and 55. And over there in West Texas, mostly cloudy, 57 in Lubbock, partly cloudy, 58 in El Paso. Gosh, looking at the radar, some of that rainfall up north of Santa Fe, up in the mountains, north of Santa Fe. Looks like it's even in the nature of frozen precipitation. They may be getting some freezing rain and some snow in the higher elevations north of Santa Fe, east of Espanola, and in that part of the mountain range there. Could possibly be seeing that. Let's look at our lunch menus that we have on the menu for today. At the schools, it's going to be mini waffles for breakfast today. Lunch, the chicken fajita, cheese, tortilla, refried beans, lettuce and tomato, and fresh strawberries. So it's chicken fajitas today in the Artesia Public Schools. At the senior meal site today, roast beef with gravy, some mashed taters, green beans, a roll, and tropical fruit. So it's roast beef with gravy today at the senior meal site. At the senior center today, exercise video at 8:15, tops at 9 o'clock, jewelry class at 9:30, the wood burning at 1 o'clock, the bridge at 1 o'clock, the train dominoes at 1 o'clock, and the sewing at 1:30. And we mentioned the advisory council's meeting today. Didn't know if you knew that. They're meeting at 9 o'clock today. And then there is a Women's Awareness Month event over at Presbyterian Medical Services today. And the seniors are going to be there with a table with some arts and crafts items for sale ahead of the fall craft sale, which is coming up in a couple of weeks. So that's what's going on today at the Artesia Senior Center. At the library today, Mother Goose at 10 o'clock for ages birth to 3. Rhymes, stories, puppets, and baby games to enhance brain development and language. I wonder if, Jeffrey, I wonder if you and I could benefit from some brain development. Maybe we ought to go hang out at Mother Goose today. Library's next big event will be on the 29th. That's the last Saturday of the month, when they'll be celebrating the Trick or Treat Artesia with a haunted lab, a popcorn and candy bar, and a whole lot more. That'll be from 4 to 6 on Saturday the 29th, which is Trick or Treat Artesia night. Birthdays today. Virginia Perez has a birthday. Jelana Plummer. How many years have I been messing that up? Jelana Plummer has a birthday today. Dale Bratcher has a birthday today. So happy birthday to Jelana, Virginia, and Dale, all celebrating birthdays today. How did I messing up here? Let's see. On the Artesia Schools calendar today, it just says the Eastern New Mexico State Fair, which, of course, is going on today. Had an interesting comment on that. I think today at the fair is Senior Day, and it's free admission for the seniors. And I got to thinking about this because I had posted my little video clip of the trains that are running at the Eastern New Mexico State Fair, and the trains are they're every night 5 to 9 p.m. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be there tonight attempting not to derail 2 trains and cause a tanker incident. Let's see, advisory committee meeting Tuesday, September 6th. Help wanted, Eastern New Mexico State Fair. Livestock schedule. Yeah, I don't see, or I looked it up on their website. I think it is Senior Day today. Well, anyway, the comment was, yeah, here it is, Senior Day at the fair, 3 to 5:30. Okay, so it's free entry and parking. Do health information, cakewalk, hot dogs, fun games, giveaways, Albertsons flu shots. Well, the comment was that it is Senior Day, and the seniors get in to the state fair, I think, for free. And they've got a shuttle cart wagon or whatever that'll take you from the parking lot into the fairgrounds. And the comment was, well, great, they have Senior Day and nothing's open. And I looked at the on the website there for the fair, and sure enough, the actual fair commercial building doesn't open until 5 o'clock. 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock is when the commercial building opens up. Now, all the livestock exhibits and shows are going on. You can wander through and look at the ag entries and all the other stuff like that. And a lot of the booths that are inside that building, they're just open. They've got their display set up, and you can walk through and see all of that. But the trains don't run till 5. Senior Day is 3 to 5:30, and the commercial building doesn't open up until 4. And so I think what they were suggesting was it's really nice to have the Senior Day when nothing's open. and that's true. Of course, you got to remember, a lot of these booths are manned by volunteers, people that are volunteering their time. And it's hard enough to get people to say, I need you there 4 to 10. And then you say, well, it's Senior Day, so I need you there at 3 o'clock. And So, but it was just a thought based on a comment, based on a thought from a observation. Okay, let's take the break. We'll come back and look at some other stuff happening around when we come back here on the Good Morning Artesia radio show. But first, pay attention to these messages.
The VA reports 149,756 military veterans living here in New Mexico. What doesn't get reported much are steps to improve their quality of life and honor their service. Did you know that major improvements are coming to our only long-term skilled nursing home for New Mexico veterans? Back in July, Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham announced $60 million for upgrades and new home-like residences at the state's Veterans Home in Tier C. And she cut New Mexico's income tax on military retirement for the next 5 years. She's invested millions of dollars towards veteran cemeteries, a new Vietnam memorial wall, and towards the construction of a new Navajo Code Talkers Museum and Veterans Center in New Mexico. And she approved major upgrades to the Baton Memorial Park near Silver City this year, too. As the daughter of a military veteran, Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham is a champion of New Mexico vets they can count on. Let's keep her.
Paid for by New Mexicans for Michelle.
Approved by Michelle Lujan Grisham.
As the seasons change, it can be a great time to refresh your oral health too. Here's a few fall tooth care tips from Smile Expressions in Artesia. Fall is a great time to switch out your toothbrush. Toothbrushes should be replaced every 3 to 4 months. With fall coming comes fall baking, which means lots of sugar-laden treats. In addition to the goodies, try reaching for fruits and vegetables that are rich in fiber. And as the end of your insurance year approaches, now could be the perfect time to take advantage of any unused dental benefits. Please call and schedule your appointment today at Smile Expressions in Artesia.
1 gig internet is available in Artesia and Carlsbad from PVT. Level up your internet for the speed and Wi-Fi you need to boost game consoles, computers, streaming devices, and all your home's other connected devices to peak performance with no data limits. PVT broadband internet with speeds up to 1 gig, powered by PVT's whole home managed Wi-Fi, takes your game or home office to the next level. Call 575-748-1241 or visit PVT at www.pvt.com today to get connected.
Artesia Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, home-owned and operated for over 50 years, are here for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. Artesia Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling has the expertise to install residential, commercial, and industrial air conditioning units, including the conversion of evaporative coolers to refrigerated air systems. Cut cooling costs with high-efficiency Carrier units from Artesia Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, your authorized Carrier dealer. Artesia Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a proud sponsor of Artesia Bulldogs and our community for over 50 years.
Have you noticed the days are getting shorter? This is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. I know it's kind of hard to tell, but we're on the downhill side of the year, so every day is a couple of minutes shorter than the one before, even though your plants need plenty of food and water to keep them healthy. Like those globe willows that are turning yellow. A good dose of the right fertilizer will make them bright green again. No matter what the problems you're having, we probably have a cure at Roswell Seed Company, but come see us soon, because winter's coming, you know.
Devon Energy is proud to support Artesia High School athletic programs. By partnering with Artesia, we're making an investment in the long-term future of our community. Sports teach discipline, teamwork, and leadership, skills our youth will use to succeed for a lifetime. From our team to yours, Devon Energy wishes you good luck this season, both on the field and in the classroom. Go Bulldogs from Devon Energy.
It's Chevy truck season at Guy Chevrolet Company in Artesia. The Chevy Silverado is as durable as it is dependable with its proven power and capability along with advanced technology. And this month you can make it your own with a $1,000 accessory allowance when you purchase or lease a Silverado 1500 or HD. So come on in and see us today at Guy Chevrolet Company on the corner of 1st and Main in Artesia or at GuyChevy.com.
Making a great deal better every day.
Due to the passing of our good friend Johnny Crook, Mrs. Crook has commissioned Bill Johnston Auctioneers to conduct an estate auction in Artesia on Saturday, October 8th at 9 a.m. Items for auction include tractors, wheel loaders, backhoe, swather, balers, hay equipment, trailers, antiques, vintage cars, farm equipment, forklifts, collectibles, memorabilia, signs, neon lights, furniture, welders, gators, shop equipment, and more. Saturday, October 8th, 9 a.m. at 75 2529 Highway 285. From Artesia, go 4 miles north on Highway 285, then west a quarter mile to the auction site. Look for the signs.
Prepare for the scare. The city of Roswell presents Night of the Living Zoo, October 28th and 29th at the Spring River Zoo, with spooktastic fun for the whole family, including carnival games, a bouncing castle, carousel, and of course, trick-or-treating with lots of candy. Wear your Halloween costumes and prepare for the affair of the spooky season. Admission is only $5. Kids 3 and under are free. Get tickets and more info at roswell-connect.com. Night of the Living Zoo, October 28th and 29th at the Spring River Zoo in Roswell. See you there.
Back on the Good Morning Artesia radio show, just some stuff swirling around out there that you might find a little bit interesting there. There's a Post-Millennial is reporting that the CEO of U.S. election software firm Konnech arrested for storing data on servers in China. Eugene Yu, CEO of the software firm Konnech, has been arrested Tuesday just outside Lansing, Michigan, after prosecutors alleged he improperly stored the information on servers in China. According to Los Angeles County District Attorney George Gascon, Yu, who is the chief executive officer of a company named Konnech, is expected to be extradited to Los Angeles in the coming days, according to Gascon. Konnech, in a statement, said, "We are continuing to ascertain the details of what we believe to be Mr. Yu's wrongful detention by L.A. County authorities." Any L.A. County poll worker data that Konnech may have possessed was provided to it by L.A. County and therefore could not have been stolen as suggested. It was Monday, the New York Times ran an article claiming that election deniers had made Konnech the center of a conspiracy theory. The article claimed that those election deniers had used threadbare evidence to suggest that Konnech had secret ties to the Chinese Communist Party and had given the Chinese government backdoor access to personal data about 2 million poll workers in the United States. So Monday, the New York Times is saying that the election deniers are targeting this company unfairly and unjustly. And then today we're finding out that the CEO of the company has been arrested in connection with storing data on servers in China. So that's one of the stories that's kind of bubbling under the surface of the news. You may or may not be aware. It may or may not be picked up by the mainstream media folks, but it is kind of interesting that sequence of events has happened in that order and in that timeline. What's interesting is that Gascon is involved, and I'm trying to understand what's in it for him. He survived a recall election out in California. This guy has apparently been extremely soft on crime, and there was an effort to get him out of there, and that effort failed. He is still in there as the district attorney in California, but why would he be concerned about this? It just seems kind of interesting that's going. The other story that's kind of bubbling under the surface, all of a sudden, it looks like Elon Musk is back on board with buying Twitter. And, he had offered, and then he had claimed there were misrepresentations in terms of the number of bots and all this other kind of stuff. It looked like he was wanting less money, or to pay less money for it. And then surfaced here recently some text conversations between him and the former CEO and founder, Jack Dorsey, the former and current troll that used to own Twitter, or I guess he still owns a big chunk of it. And And now apparently it's back on. Apparently it's moving forward, that Elon Musk is ready to take over Twitter. And all the media is abuzz because the people that claim that they support free speech are upset that Elon may take over Twitter and actually allow free speech on Twitter. He may lift the bans on all these people that are primarily right-wing or conservatives that have been banned from Twitter. Elon may come in and lift all of those bans and let everybody be heard on the town square again, which is what the people who purportedly promote a town square conversation place like Twitter are opposed to, because they're only in favor of free speech as long as it supports their position. So just like I said, a couple of things bubbling under the news surface. It may or may not make the main news, but you may find them interesting. All right, let's check in, see what Jared's got for news. Eddie County Sports with Eric. And Kim Commando with your tech tip for Wednesday. That's all next.
Now your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. The Carlsbad Lifehouse is planning to host a fundraiser for its mental health and substance abuse services after expanding this year to become a leader in the region for such services. Lifehouse is currently at 1900 West Ridge and provides up to 30 days of intensive residential treatment options. Lifehouse will soon be opening a sober living home in Artesia alongside another service called The Bridge at 808 West Grand Street. An open house is planned for Thursday from 4 to 6 p.m. The annual fundraiser event for Lifehouse is planned for the evening of Saturday, November 5th at the Balzano Family Vineyard and Pumpkin Patch. The Carlsbad City Council now approving the acceptance of $3 million from the State Transportation Department to design, survey, and map the land where a proposed bridge would cross Dark Canyon at Radio Boulevard and Boyd Drive. The bridge is expected to cost about $20 million to build. The state has agreed to do the design work for about $150,000. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
Lowell's Pharmacy in Artesia will be holding a COVID-19 booster clinic Tuesday, October 11th, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the Jack Case Community Room at Central Valley Electric Cooperative. The vaccine is the new Moderna booster, including the Omicron variants, available for patients 18 years of age and older. Flu shots for Medicare patients will also be available. That's a COVID-19 booster clinic conducted by Lowell's Pharmacy, Tuesday, October 11th, 8 to 11 a.m. at CVE's Jack Case Community Room.
It's time for the Eddie County Sports Report. Let's go to the scoreboard. Lots of games yesterday, including volleyball action for the Artesia Bulldogs. The Bulldogs now 10-5 overall after sweeping Ruidoso 3-0. Artesia just coming off a tough road trip to Rio Rancho and Cleveland on Friday and Saturday. The Lady Dogs will play again tomorrow, 6:30 against Hobbs. Carlsbad, meanwhile, falls at home to Goddard by a 3-0 count. And in girls soccer, Carlsbad falls to Hobbs as well by a score of 2-0. It was in boys soccer, Artesia beating Portales 5-0. The Bulldogs will play against Goddard Saturday at 2 o'clock, and Carlsbad loses boys soccer at Hobbs by a 6-1 count. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at KSVP Radio, AM 990.
First it was on, then off. On Monday, it was on again. And by yesterday afternoon, the shareholders approved. And Elon Musk purchased Twitter at $54.20 a share. That's $43 billion. I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by SimpliSafe. Get a free indoor security camera plus 20% off with interactive monitoring at simplysafekim.com. Elon Musk's original offer to buy Twitter contained an element of excitement for some, anger for others. Musk is against banning Twitter users because of their political leanings. Rumors are still floating that once Musk's team replaces Twitter's board of directors, Donald Trump may get his Twitter account back. But why consummate a deal he walked away from? Was it the threat of Twitter's board taking him to court? Perhaps. That would have been a lose-lose for both parties, as Twitter's true number of real users would have had to be made public. In the end, Musk got Twitter for $1 billion less than what he first offered. Be sure to get my new daily podcast. It's great for walks and drives. It's about 30 minutes. Called Kim Commando today. Data breaches are at an all-time high as cyber criminals are constantly finding new ways to hack into our email accounts and steal personal information. That's why I use StartMail. StartMail keeps my emails safe. Every email can be encrypted or protected with a password. which means hackers and big tech can't read, scan, analyze, or sell my personal information. When you delete an email, it's gone forever. And StartMail is backed by the world's most robust privacy laws. In fact, StartMail uses their own servers, not Amazon's. If you need to provide an email but want to protect your identity, StartMail can generate unlimited disposable email addresses that can be deleted at any time. Plus, switching to StartMail is now easier than ever. Transfer all your emails and contacts with just a few clicks. Start securing your email privacy with StartMail today and get 50% off your first year. Go to startmail.com/Kim. That's startmail.com. That's startmail with a T. Startmail.com/Kim for 50% off your first year.
Turpinning & Son Mortuary of Artesia presents a listing of today's obituaries. We do not have any announcements to share with you today. This listing has been presented as a service of Turpinning & Son Mortuary of Artesia, where we make it personal. Well, let's move to the Wall Street Business Report, see what's happening in the world of the markets, and then we'll be back with our Artesia Public Schools segment. That's coming up next.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. Airlines will be required to give flight attendants at least 10 hours off duty between their shifts. That's an additional hour, under a rule announced Tuesday by the Federal Aviation Administration. The rule goes into effect in 30 days, and airlines have up to 90 days to comply. More than 300 truck drivers at New England's largest wholesale food distributor have gone on strike, raising concerns about disrupted food deliveries to schools, hospitals, and nursing homes. The drivers, represented by the Teamsters Local 653, took to the picket line at Cisco Boston early Saturday, seeking better pay and benefits. Last week, about 230 drivers at a Cisco facility near Syracuse, New York, also went on strike, alleging unfair labor practices. Bank of America Corporation plans to deposit an additional $100 million into banks that focus on minority communities, the company said Tuesday. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
The VA reports 149,756 military veterans living here in New Mexico. What doesn't get reported much are steps to improve their quality of life and honor their service. Did you know that major improvements are coming to our only long-term skilled nursing home for New Mexico veterans? Back in July, Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham announced $60 million for upgrades and new home-like residences at the state's Veterans Home in Tier C. And she cut New Mexico's income tax on military retirement for the next 5 years. She's invested millions of dollars towards veteran cemeteries, a new Vietnam memorial wall, and towards the construction of a new Navajo Code Talkers Museum and Veterans Center in New Mexico. And she approved major upgrades to the Baton Memorial Park near Silver City this year, too. As the daughter of a military veteran, Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham is a champion of New Mexico vets they can count on. Let's keep her.
Paid for by New Mexicans for Michelle.
Approved by Michelle Lujan Grisham.
In volatile times, it's natural to worry about your retirement.
Hon, I'm worried about our retirement account.
With today's economy, it just makes sense to keep your retirement money close to home with people you know. We have several guaranteed safe options. Peace of mind with retirement savings. It just makes sense. Western Bank of Artesia. Member FDIC. It just makes sense.
Get ready to get rowdy. The Eastern New Mexico State Fair and the Hondo Rodeo Company presents the Pecos Valley Stampede Ranch Rodeo, Friday and Saturday, October 7th and 8th, 6 p.m. at the Bob Crosby Arena, featuring the best in stray gathering, wild cow milking, trailer loading, and muley roping. Best of all, the Pecos Valley Stampede Ranch Rodeo is free with paid admission to the fair. It all goes down October 7th and 8th during the Eastern New Mexico State Fair. Log on to enmsf.com to learn more. Ad paid for through the City of Roswell Lodgers Tax.
Fall is in the air at the Calico Cow Fabric and Gift Shop in downtown Roswell. The Cow is utterly stocked with lots of fun fall time and even holiday fabrics marked down 10% to get you ready for the seasons ahead. Now's the time to give your sewing machine a spa day. The Calico Cow now has 2 certified sewing machine technicians, so call ahead and bring your machine by for a quick turnaround. And look for new classes all month long at the Calico Cow Fabric and Gift Shop in downtown Roswell. Want to know how? Come see the cow.
Welcome to Answers with Ken Ham, presented by the Coalition of Christians for Biblical Creation and Steve and Cindy Anderson of Napa Auto Parts in Artesia. CCBC is an interdenominational coalition of Christians from Artesia who believe that the account of origins presented in Genesis is a simple but factual presentation of actual events. Answers with Ken Ham is brought to you by Steve and Cindy Anderson of Napa Auto Parts, proudly serving all of your automotive needs, individual and commercial, with quality Napa parts. Now, today's Answers with Ken Ham.
Societal evolution? This is Ken Ham on a mission to call the church back to the authority of God's Word. According to evolutionary ideas, human society slowly evolved into more complex forms. But that doesn't match the evidence they left behind. For example, huge structures made from massive stones are found across the globe. These stones fit together so precisely that even after thousands of years, we can't slip a credit card through the cracks. Modern engineers still have no idea how they managed this. The Bible's history actually explains why these complex civilizations all arose around the same time. After the flood, God divided the people at the Tower of Babel. They took their shared knowledge, spread out, and began to build cities. Yes, the Bible explains our world.
Science confirms God's Word. Discover answers to your questions about science, the Bible, creation, and evolution when you visit us at our award-winning website at AnswersRadio.com.
Welcome back on Good Morning Artesia. And on Wednesday mornings at this time, we talked with folks from the Artesia Public Schools. Today, it's Grand Heights that we are featuring today. So we have Marcia Molina. Good morning.
Good morning.
And Sylvia Wilson. Good morning.
Good morning.
And Ileana Guzman.
Good morning.
Okay, I got to turn your microphone up there. So let's try that again.
Good morning.
There we go. Well, great. Well, Marcia, tell us a little bit your position there at the school and what you do there.
I am the new principal at Grand Heights. This year's my first year. I took over after Mitzi McCaleb received a promotion, and she's now the director of health and wellness. And so I took over at Grand Heights this year. It's my first year as principal, my first year as being a principal. I was an assistant principal last year at YESO for a little bit, and so I have a little bit of knowledge of that, but I'm learning too, so everything's new.
Well, good. Well, there's always changes, and changes are good. Did the rest of the staff say, now, Miss Molina, this is how we do things?
Oh, yes, of course, because there's so many traditions in Artesia. I think, that's one of the first things that you learn when you come to Artesia Public Schools is that there's just certain traditions we keep going, and so those are kind of your focus. You want to make sure that we keep those going for the kids each year, and so those were one of the first things that I learned when I got to Grand Heights.
So how long have you been in the Artesia school system?
I've been here about 17, 18 years.
Okay.
I've taught a little bit of everywhere. I taught in El Paso for a little bit, and then I taught in Hagerman, and then I came back and I've taught at Hermosa. I taught at Roseland, at YESO for a little bit, and now I'm at Grand Heights.
And now you're the principal.
Yes.
Yeah, well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Sylvia, let's tell everybody a little bit about what you do at Grand Heights.
Well, I'm in my second year as the DD preschool coordinator, which is the developmentally delayed preschool. And I've been teaching all over for the last 27 years. This is my 27th year with Artesia Public Schools, and it's been great.
And you finally have caught on to some of the traditions in the.
Well, I was part of the traditions because I grew up here and went to school here. So.
Yeah, that's great. And so 27, you're starting your 27th year.
Yes.
Probably been a few changes over the years in schools around.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Where did you start teaching when?
My first job was as an aide over at Hermosa, and then from there I went to Yucca, and then to the junior high, and then the high school, and now I'm back at Grand Heights.
Starting the whole cycle over again, right? That'll be kind of fun. Ileana, tell us a little bit about what you do at Grand Heights.
So this is my second year as a school social worker here in Artesia. I worked for 7 years in Hagerman as a school social worker as well. It's been amazing transitioning from older kids. I was at the middle school and high school, and now working with kindergartners have been so much fun. It's been a different experience, and it's been great.
Yeah. So you were at Hagerman
Yes.
before here? Did anybody ever had you heard of Artesia before?
Yes. So I'm from here. I went to school here, and I was, since we moved here when I was in 4th grade. So I've been here all my life. I just drove to Hagerman and back, and
there you go.
now
So you never really left Artesia?
No. I've always been a bulldog.
Yeah. So that's great. So but did you graduate from Artesia High?
Yes.
Okay.
I did.
And Sylvia, I think you said you went through the school system here.
Yes.
So Marcia, where
I graduated also from Artesia High
from
School.
Artesia High. Okay.
I wasn't born here, but I say I was raised here because I came in the 3rd grade.
Okay.
So I graduated from Artesia High School.
Okay. Well, that's fantastic. So, what do we want to talk about first? Grand Heights. What this is the kindergarten.
Yes. So I think,
students?
right. I think a lot of people don't know, but we have lots of things going on in kindergarten. It's not just kindergarten students, but we also have a preschool program that's housed within our building. And so we have, over 350 kids that come to that school every day. And so I think a lot of people just think of it as the kindergarten school, but there's just so much more going on there every single day. And we have lots of, different services coming in, speech therapy, OT, occupational therapy, and all those different things that come throughout the day to help service our kids. We have PE, music, art, and just like all the other elementaries as well.
And kindergarten is all day now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It used to be half
a
day.
day. Yes.
Yeah. So I guess at this age, that's a pretty great opportunity that the teachers and the staff have to do some early assessment of the learning status of a lot of the younger kids in Artesia. Is that a lot of what happens at Grand Heights?
Yes, sir. I think a lot of people don't realize how much we do, not just in academics, but in also other aspects. Like it's their first go at being in the school system, and so, or being in a school setting. And so they learn so many things just from opening their lunch milk to, going to the bathroom, walking in a line, all those little things that we kind of take for granted because we're like, oh, our kids can do that. But then in a different setting, it looks a little bit different. And it's, just their first experience. And so our teachers are so great. They teach them so many things besides academics every single day. And so they're some of the hardest working people in Artesia.
Yeah. You said the milk cartons.
Yes.
Are they still where you have to tear it open? And
yes, sir.
I never, ever, ever could get that right. I was like, just give me a knife or something.
It's like open it and pinch it. That's what we try to teach them, and put your finger in it, pull it open. And so it's just a process.
I would think after all this time, somebody would have invented a better way to do that.
Right.
Yeah. So Sylvia, talk a little bit about you said DD development. So talk a little bit about what you get to do.
So our program starts with 3-year-olds that have a language delay. So you have to qualify for the DD preschool program. So we do child find all year long, and if a parent has concerns with their child's language, they can call and we do a screening, and then if they have a language delay, we can put them in the DD preschool. The DD preschool goes for 2.5 hours, and it's in 2 sessions. So we go from 8 to 10:30 and then 10:30 to 1. And we have the speech come in and language therapist and helping those kids to develop those language skills so that we can get them ready for kindergarten and, teaching them how to follow directions and listen and all those things.
That is fantastic. And then Ileana, as a counselor, you probably get to help the kids that have trouble with the milk cartons.
Of course. Yes.
But it really with even some more serious issues. So what are some of the issues that you get to help the children with?
And so this year we're focusing a lot on their social emotional learning. So we establish routines. This is the foundation. The kindergarten is the foundation where they learn those skills to be successful in elementary school. They get whole classroom interventions where I go into the classrooms. We teach social skills, coping skills. Sometimes those kids don't have the self-regulation skills that they need to be able to cope with those big feelings, sometimes not being able to open the carton or not being able to make friends, or it's hard, for them. This is the first time that they've been in a setting like this, so we try to help them cope. We help them learn those skills so that they are successful in that way.
Fantastic. So it's a great position to be in of the first year for all these young kids that are coming into the schools across the district. That's great. And so so this is the kindergarten for the whole Artesia. So anybody that has a kindergarten age child, they're going to Grand
Yes.
Heights or the preschool program or the other
Yes.
programs.
And then when they're done with us, they feed out into all the elementary schools.
Elementary schools.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, you, Marcia, you mentioned you've got a couple of events coming up. A gas raffle.
Yes, that's
We
our.
could all use some.
Yes,
I
sir.
think this is gasoline, right?
Yes, a gasoline raffle. And so what we do is that's our annual fundraiser to help field money for field trips, classroom incentives, student incentives. And so every year, that's the tradition. Grand Heights has a gas raffle where they sell tickets for $500 worth of gas. And so that's coming up in the next couple of weeks. So
Okay.
if you see some yellow tickets floating around, help support our little ones.
Yeah, that's a great idea. How much are the tickets going
They're
to be?
$1 each.
There you go.
Yeah, right?
That's less than a gallon of gas. You know?
Right? It's good chances.
That's a pretty good deal. And then field trips. What are some of the field trips that the kids have the opportunity to go on from throughout the year? I know you've got one. Hopefully today, if the weather
Right.
holds out. But what
Yes.
are some of the field trip experiences that you like to have with the kids?
So the one that we're waiting to see how the weather does today is the Bulldog Adventure. It's we call it the Athletic Adventure, and they go to the Bulldog Bowl and they get to just go play on the field. They get to go to the weight room. They get to go up in the press box, and so it's just one of those maybe once in a lifetime kind of things that every student at kindergarten gets to experience. And so that's supposed to be today. And we just appreciate so much the coaching staff. Coach Maupin and all his staff have been so great to us, and they're preparing. And so we hope that we get to do that today. And they also have players that come help us out. And so it's just a really good experience for our kiddos. And we hope to get to do that today.
Yeah.
And
well,
then-
I left a monitor up there. I need to go grab that before it disappears.
Right. And then, of course, our kids get to go to Heirloom Acres, the pumpkin patch.
Okay.
And so that's coming up in the next few weeks, and that's a great experience too because they do so many things. It's they talk about the cycle of a pumpkin, bees, and alfalfa, and how they grow things. And so it's not just going to the pumpkin patch and going through the maze. They also have the educational part of it, and so that's a great experience for them as well.
Good.
And then it's Fire Prevention Week next week, and so the fire department will be coming around and doing their annual fire prevention awareness program, and so lots of stuff happening this month at Grand Heights.
They never seem to like the joke that we'll get the inspector, comes around to look at the buildings and walks in, and I'll say, "We don't need a fire today, thank you very much."
Yeah.
They
Doesn't
laugh the
appreciate
first
that.
time, but not every time they walk in the door.
Right.
Sylvia, are you the only person that works in your department there, or do you have some other staff that help you out there?
I have a wonderful staff. We in each one of the preschool rooms, we have a licensed teacher and 2 educational assistants. And our classroom size is right around 7 to 12 students per session.
Okay.
And they get lots of one-on-one, and the staff is phenomenal. They have the patience of a saint, I think, and it just works very well. They're very caring and nurturing for those kids, but still provide a very vocabulary rich environment and very structured, so they're awesome.
Fantastic. And Ileana, are you the only counselor, or do you have other?
No, I'm the only social worker.
Social worker, okay.
In the building, yes. But we
Okay.
have a wonderful team, throughout the Artesia Public Schools. We have one of the best teams, I think, around.
Good deal. Well, we've got a little less than 2 minutes left, Marcia. Was there anything else that we needed to cover or mention or say hi to or anything else?
I just want to, take a minute just to thank the staff at Grand Heights. We have a great group of people, the teachers, the secretaries, the nurses, the custodians. I have great support here with the preschool. They just keep it running every single day, and we couldn't do it without not one of those people. So I just want to make sure that everybody understands, that we have such a great staff there, and they work hard every single day to help our kids throughout the district. And they're just building those relationships every day and making sure that our kids know that they're loved and that we're going to take care of them. And so
that is great. And if parents of kids that go to Grand Heights, they can call anytime, talk to any of the staff. I mean, talk to
Absolutely.
you and other.
Absolutely. We
folks.
have 2 secretaries, so they answer the phones daily, and anytime anyone has any concerns, they can call and let us know, or if they have any questions, we're always there to answer.
Fantastic. Marshall Molina, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your new job.
Thank you.
Sylvia Wilson, congratulations on your new job.
Thank you.
And Ileana Guzman, thank you so much, and congratulations on your new job.
Thank you.
All right, some of the staff from Grand Heights School here in Artesia, thank you so much. Appreciate you doing that. Hope you get to go on your field trip today.
Us too. Thank you.
It'll be a lot of fun. You can see where Joby sits.
Oh, yes.
All right, that's it for the, what is it, 7 o'clock hour, 8 o'clock. This is KSVP Artesia, K229AS Artesia. That's the 93.7 FM thing. It's 8 o'clock. Time for news.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. As gas prices continue to surge, rising almost every day for the past couple of weeks, OPEC and its allies, including Russia, are talking about cutting back oil output. That could fuel an even sharper rise in prices at the pump. Gas prices are up about 2.5 cents since yesterday. AAA's national average now at $3.83 per gallon. There is no talk about President Biden tapping the Strategic Petroleum Reserve again. The reserve, created for use during national emergencies like war, is already at its lowest level in decades. On Monday, he visited storm-ravaged Puerto Rico. Later today, President Biden heads to Florida to check out the hurricane damage there. High water rescues continue in the flood zone.
Johnny Lauder had to rescue his 86-year-old wheelchair-bound mother stuck in her flooded Naples home.
Terror and relief at the same time.
Lee County Sheriff Carmine Marcino says the destruction immense. First responders going door-to-door checking for people.
We can rebuild a home. We can get another boat. But when you lose a loved one, there's just no words that can describe how we feel for that family.
Animals also being rescued, including 275 parrots from a Pine Island sanctuary. Owner Will Peratino says if you're an animal lover, you don't think about yourself first.
Just protecting the animals.
And they all rode out the hurricane together.
Well, they're a family.
I'm Julie Walker.
Russian President Putin has signed laws formalizing his land grab in Ukraine, even as Russian troops struggle to hold on to the 4 regions that Putin stole from the Ukrainians, many of whom voted at gunpoint to join the Russian Federation. Stocks deep in the red this morning on Wall Street so far. Right now, the Dow is down about 307 points. The S&P is off 48. More on these stories, townhall.com.
First, we decide where we want to go. Then we need to know the best way to get there. Hi, my name's Adam Barada. I'm the owner of Advantage Gold. We're the highest-rated precious metals firm in the country. We teach people how to own physical gold and silver. Now, we've won the Best of TrustLink Award 4 years in a row because we educate our clients on how to buy gold and silver the right way. We don't pay celebrity spokespeople millions of dollars. We'd rather pass that value on to you. Call 800-900-8000 and speak with one of our experts. We'll send you a free gold kit along with my latest #1 national best-selling book, The Great Devaluation. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. Get the best information, the best process, the best service, the best value. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. Call 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
A missile misfire during a military exercise in South Korea adds to an already tense situation on the Korean peninsula.
A South Korean ballistic missile malfunctioned and fell on land during a live fire drill with the United States. The sound of the blast and subsequent fire triggered panic among residents in the coastal city. They feared an attack from increasingly hostile North Korea. South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff said no one was hurt in the accident. The military acknowledged the accident hours after internet users posted videos showing an orange ball of flames emerging from an area they described as near an Air Force base. I'm Norman Hall.
Iran has summoned the British ambassador again for what it says were provocative statements made by London over Tehran's crackdown on widespread protests. Iranian authorities summoned Simon Shirkliff for the second time in less than 10 days. News and analysis at townhall.com. A Southern California landmark, the world-famous Hollywood sign, is getting a facelift.
After a pressure wash and some rust removal, workers this week began using 250 gallons of primer and white paint to spruce up the sign ahead of its centennial next year. The entire renovation effort is expected to take up to 8 weeks. Originally built in 1923, the sign read Hollywoodland to promote a property development. But after decades of neglect, the original sign was shortened to read Hollywood and then was replaced altogether with a new sign in 1978. It is repainted once every decade. Keith Peters reporting.
Aaron Judge has hit his 62nd home run of the season, breaking Roger Maris's American League record. That record stood since way back in 1961. Once again on Wall Street this hour, stocks are lower. The NASDAQ down 201 points. More on these stories, townhall.com.
I know what you're expecting to hear right now, the announcement of today's KSVIP. Well, I don't have a name for today, and I need your help. If you know someone who needs to be recognized for being a very special person, call right now, 746-2751. Ask for Tana and schedule a KSVIP. Your special someone will be recognized at this time all day long on their day, and they'll receive a flower courtesy of Lovebud Floral in Artesia. So call today and schedule your KSVIP.
They see me mowing my front lawn. I know they're all thinking I'm so white and nerdy. Think I'm just too white and nerdy. Think I'm just too white and nerdy. Can't you see I'm white and nerdy? Look at me, I'm white and nerdy. I wanna roll with the gangsters, but so far they all think I'm too white and nerdy. Think I'm just too white and nerdy. Think I'm just too white and nerdy. I'm just too white and nerdy. Really, really white and nerdy.
My class there at MIT. Got skills, I'm a champion of D&D. MC Escher, that's my favorite MC. Keep your
Jeffrey was a little concerned that our camera out at 12 Mile Hill was freaking out. You want to, I don't know if you're ready for it. You want to pull up the video? Yeah, look at that. There's rain. That's rain falling. So we've got some live video from east of town looking back to the west over the Pecos Valley, and you can see it's raining out there. And that's interesting. That's pretty cool. Can you pull up the Roswell camera? Is that you can pull up the Roswell one, can't you? We've got another camera out west of Roswell, and I don't know if it's raining there or not. So I think Jeffrey has access to that camera too. Folks don't necessarily want to see the transmitters. We've got cameras looking at transmitters at a couple of our sites too. It's to verify whether or not they're on fire. Yeah, that's the Roswell camera there, and looks like, and that camera is looking towards the east, the east-southeast, back towards Roswell, New Mexico. That camera's actually located west of Roswell, and it looks kind of cloudy and dreary there as well. So there's some rainfall in the region at this hour, and we're just kind of enjoying it. We kind of need it. Matter of fact, I've got the official rainfall total from the overnight rain, and it was a pretty good amount of rain that we got overnight. So that's great. Coming up this hour will be our County Commissioner segment, and then we'll have Jokes with Aaron in the 9 o'clock hour. And remind me, Jeffrey, when we get into the 9 o'clock hour, I do have an incredible story of the day. I've been a fan of the James Bond movies, and they celebrate, I think, their 60th anniversary of the James Bond movie franchise beginning. I think Dr. No was the first James Bond movie, and Sean Connery played the part of James Bond, and that, I believe, is credited as the first James Bond movie. Came out in 1962, so that would be about right. Dr. No, a resourceful British government agent seeks answers in a case involving the disappearance of a colleague and the disruption of the American space program. And one of the most iconic scenes in all of James Bondom was in that movie when Ursula Andress, who played the part of Honey Rider, came out of the ocean in the white bikini. She did not know that James Bond had found refuge on the island and was observing her as she was gathering shells, and she comes out of the ocean, and it just kind of set the whole franchise off. Bernard Lee played M. Jack Lord in the CIA Felix Leiter role was in that movie. Lois Maxwell played Miss Moneypenny for the first time and was in that. And I always got a kick. There was an actress named Eunice. Eunice Grayson was in the first couple of James Bond movies. She had a very brief role in that one, as well as the next movie that came out. But anyway, in honor of the 60th anniversary of that, there are all kinds of gadgets that were presented in these James Bond movies, and it looks like some of the gadgets that were presented that everybody looked at and went, well, that can't happen, or that's never going to happen, or will that ever happen? Some of those gadgets have actually happened, and so it's kind of neat to take a look at that, and we'll mention that. But yeah, remind me of that in our 9 o'clock hour. All right, we have got some rain in the area. Let's go ahead and get our forecast on here. Steve-O, is it going to continue to rain today? What do you know?
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Stationary front just off to our north. We have low pressure off to the south and moist air coming in today. And that means some showers and thunderstorms around, especially this afternoon. 70 for the afternoon high. Showers and thunderstorms will continue for the overnight hours and will drop into the mid-50s. And then cloudy with a few lingering showers possible on Thursday. Low 70s, some more showers Friday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Well, let's take a look at our radar imagery, our live camera update. And yeah, you can see, if you're watching online, you can see at the camera shot that Jeffrey has up, we've got rain east of town. That's kind of neat that we can do that. I was looking, do I have the radar? What did I do with the radar app? There it is. Yeah, that area of rain is, it was kind of separated into two different pieces last hour, and now it's kind of connected east of town. Here in town, doesn't look like we're getting much rain, if any, but as soon as you go east on the Hobbs Highway there, or on the Lovington Highway, 82, you'll get into that rainfall area, and that rainfall extends up to Roswell and down to Carlsbad. They're probably getting some rain down in the Carlsbad area as well. Right now, we've got 61 degrees and cloudy skies in Artesia. Our humidity is at 76. Our dew point is 53. Our winds are northerly at 5. Our pressure's at 30.06 and holding steady. Our air quality is 52. We have moderate air quality. We had a high yesterday of 84, an overnight low of 50. 1 year ago, we had a high of 85 and a low of 51. Minimum 4-inch soil temps are around 70 degrees. And officially, in the rainstorm that came through town last night, 18 1/100ths of an inch of precipitation, bringing our total for the year to 7.49 inches of rain. So 18 1/100ths of an inch of rain as of 7 o'clock this morning, and hopefully we'll get some more throughout the day today. Around, sunset today, by the way, will be at 6:36, and the sunrise will be at 6:55. Around the region, we've got drizzle in 62 in Carlsbad, 60 in Roswell with some drizzle, cloudy and 60 in Hobbs, although they probably will see some rainfall here in a little bit. Albuquerque, drizzle in 54, rain and 47 in Santa Fe, drizzle in 46 in Cloudcroft, drizzle in 49 in Ruidoso, partly cloudy, 59 in Las Cruces, sunshine, 50 in Farmington, drizzle in 38 at Red River, and Clovis, mostly cloudy and 57. West Texas, mostly cloudy, 59 in Lubbock, 60 in El Paso. And again, we've got cloudy skies in Artesia, but some rain to the east of us, 61 degrees. Well, there you go. coming up here in a little bit out at the Eastern New Mexico State Fair should be the, let's see, what show is supposed to be happening out there at the Eastern New Mexico State Fair. I can pull that up on the screen. I should have a piece of paper written down. Let's see, box. It looks like we have the Market Lamb Show, and it is underway at the Eastern New Mexico State Fair. And so if you go to ksvptv.com, it's one of the first options or channels that you can click on. You can also go to the Eastern New Mexico State Fair's website, and they have it on their website as well. And it looks like we're also streaming to all the Facebooks and the YouTubes this morning. So if you want to watch the Market Lamb Show, that is going on right now at the Eastern New Mexico State Fair in Roswell. All right, we're going to take a break and invite in our next guest. Don't go away.
Sometimes that dog barking is an Artesia Bulldog preparing for victory. Most of the time, however, it's probably just the family pet asking for attention. Artesia Animal Clinic provides a full range of services for just about any size pet or animal. Our new clinic has been expanded to provide better quality of care, including an in-house laboratory, radiology, surgery, herd health, and more. So the next time your pet looks like they could use some extra care, come by Artesia Animal Clinic in our newly remodeled and expanded facility at 110 West Mahone Drive.
There's at least one thing most New Mexicans agree on. Our schools have a long way to go. That's why Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham is breathing new life into public education with initiatives that support our children from their first baby steps to promising career paths. Like expanding in-home family services, early childhood and pre-K, so thousands more kids will go off to school healthy and ready to learn. And attracting new teachers by raising salaries to the highest in the Southwest. It's already paying off by recruiting hundreds of new teachers to our classrooms this year. And she is cutting teacher paperwork and administrative burdens by 41%, so they have more time to teach our children. Thanks to the governor's new Opportunity Scholarships, any New Mexican can now attend a state college for free to earn a certificate or degree in a wide range of high-demand fields. After 2 tough years, we're finally making progress in education. We can't afford to go back to the failed policies of the past.
Paid for by New Mexicans for Michelle.
Approved by Michelle Lujan Grisham.
Nice.
A Castle Reynolds washer knows how to appreciate a good compliment, but you should know, we're more than just eye candy.
Wow.
Castle Reynolds washers and dryers have the capacity to take down even the toughest and dirtiest loads.
Ooh, I love this.
Yeah, she's a beaut.
It's a he.
How do you know?
Don't worry about it.
Find your eye candy at Castle Reynolds in Artesia. Speed Queen, Electrolux, Samsung, and Hotpoint in stock and ready for delivery. Castle Reynolds, 2616 West Main in Artesia.
Mac Energy Company is working to develop today's energy with tomorrow's technology. Technological advances in recent years have presented new possibilities for exploration. We strive to utilize these advances and stay abreast of innovative technology to ensure that our company is a forerunner in the quest for energy for many years to come. But more importantly, Mac Energy Corporation is committed to being an advocate of the communities around us. We invest in community initiatives that focus on youth, education, and innovative projects that address local issues. To learn more about Mac Energy, our affiliates, and our commitment to our youth and communities, visit us at mec.com.
If you're missing a tooth or several teeth, a dental implant may be the ultimate solution. Implants look and feel so much like real teeth that you probably forget you have an implant. Maupin and Brown Dentistry is one of New Mexico's most experienced implant providers, with literally thousands of implant patients who are absolutely delighted with the results. Call Maupin and Brown today for an evaluation. You'll be surprised how affordable implants can be. Maupin and Brown, your choice for experienced, state-of-the-art dentistry.
Plumbing, air conditioning, heating, gas lines, sewer jetting, refrigeration, ice machines, RO systems, water softening, sheet metal fabrication, duct cleaning, residential and commercial. Crouch does it all. When you find yourself in need of assistance, give the experts at Crouch Plumbing, Heating and Air Conditioning a call. The Crouches know quality matters, and they'll find the best solutions for your situation. That's 575-746-3782 for Crouch Plumbing, Heating and Air Conditioning, serving all of Eddy County since 1967.
With the price of gas really high, you may be looking for a more economical car or truck. Well, look no further than Artesia Ford Sales. Artesia Ford Sales is known for their selection of Ford certified pre-owned vehicles. And right now, that reputation means Artesia Ford is able to have in stock a great selection of gas-sipping vehicles for you to consider. With certified pre-owned, you can rest assured your purchase is top quality and qualifies for a much lower interest rate than a typical used car. So save money on gas and save money on your monthly payment with a quality certified pre-owned car from Artesia Ford Sales.
Hey, welcome back on the Good Morning Artesia radio show, and we're just enjoying whatever that is out there. Rain. Is that what that is?
I guess so.
Commissioner?
Apparently that's what they tell us. So,
County Commissioner John Henry is here, and I know you mentioned this the last time you were on the air, but thanks for getting the sign fixed north of town.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And that's a good working group between a bunch of different folks. I ran out there and fixed it real quick, and I know Jason Burns was it's a different material, so it wasn't a simple. He had to figure out what we could use on it so we don't ruin the whole sign because they're brand new. So
yeah.
Once they got that worked out, it took about no time.
It kind of reminds me too, because as mayor or county commissioner, some of the gang symbols, you see the shoes up on power lines.
Yeah.
I was at the fair Sunday or Monday, moving some stuff around or getting a trailer set. Yeah. Somebody had thrown a pair of boots.
That's the working game, so be careful.
I looked at that and I said, "Is that for real, or is that a joke of some kind?"
Yeah,
but they were some steel-toed boots that were.
Those are for real. So, yeah, those guys, they go to work all day, but when they're home.
I thought, do I want to go into this parking lot? I don't know. I got tennis shoes,
Right, exactly.
So that's great. Well, the rain, I'm sure, is much needed across the area.
Absolutely. We always will take the rain. So, we've done okay this year. Artesia seems to always get skipped, but that seems like always happens. It's weird. But we've had a little bit, but the county, obviously, anytime we can get rain on the county, we'll take it for sure. So.
Yeah. Well, I just realized I do have a brake. I got the brake plate. We're good. My mind is... I've got 15 things going on. I need to just settle down, focus on the guests, and do that. So county commissioners met yesterday?
We did. We met yesterday, yep. So pretty good meeting, pretty quick, but some interesting topics. But first one, this was, as I told you, in the last time I was here, we'd have our revenue report this meeting. So we did have that. Really, really good news. Now, as you remember, these are 2 or 3 months behind, right? So these are July numbers. So when you hear the oil and gas number, those were the oil prices that were in the $100 range. So we're seeing a lot of those come through, but our regular GRT came in at $4,481,000, which was up. Last month, it was only at $3.9 million. So we're seeing good growth in the GRT, which is really what you want to see, because that means our businesses are healthy and things are happening in both the communities as well as the county. But really, a lot of that GRT obviously would come more from the city. That's where more businesses are. So now on the oil and gas side, we had a huge jump. It's at $10,319,000 for August. In July, it was at $8.9 million. So a big jump in oil and gas. Like I said, that you're going to see that because that's where those $100. So for the next month or two, we might see some bigger numbers coming through there. And that's pretty good. What we budgeted for the year was about $60 a barrel. So even though we're really high right now, in fact, with these numbers, we're only 2-3 months into the new year. We've already captured 49% of what we thought we would capture for the entire year, which is crazy. Nobody would have thought that when we budgeted all this. Now, people can say, well, and of course at mid-year we can do budget adjustments and things like that, but I still do think that you're going to see a balance come out now, right? And that's what we talked quite a bit about yesterday. Al is the genius of helping us understand that, because that was his industry for so long, so he can help us really make better decisions. But he I think we were in the high 80s yesterday. I don't know where we closed. I didn't watch, but it's been a little more balanced. Still kind of high, but better. So I don't know that we'll move that 60 a bunch. But at mid-year we can take a look, see where we're at, and try to get that balance quite a bit more, because it's interesting when you have overages and all that, but for us, I would rather have a balanced budget to make sure what we're capturing is and we're not holding back on anything, which we haven't held back in a really long time. So folks out there can feel assured that we are trying to spend it. We're spending a great deal of money on the roads. We've got some big projects that you and I have talked about a number of times on the radio coming up that I think we're going to have to make some decisions on quickly. So with all that revenue, we are dumping it back into the county as fast as we can because, that's taxpayer dollars and taxpayers should benefit from what they're paying. And so we want to make sure that they see that benefit. So,
well, you mentioned the roads because I know that's been a top priority for many years now.
Yeah.
And with Jason and the first doing the laser study and then coming up with the priority list and then the website and so forth.
Right.
But it seems like as hard as the county works on the roads, it's not fast enough.
Yeah, exactly.
So you probably still hear from folks that are saying, I know you,
Sure.
well, you say you're doing all this, but where are we at? So are you able to, the county able to stick to the timetable? I mean, is the website and the list of the roads and the reporting, is that still all in effect?
It's still all in effect. He is working hard. I told you last time that we should have that interactive map soon. It got a little delayed because it's computer stuff. I don't know. And so they're working on that website a little bit more so that it's a little easier to navigate and for our side to make sure we're keeping it updated. So, we still might be a few weeks out from that one. But yes, he's still working off that list. And then what he's doing is if there's a road out in the county somewhere, but there's a few offshoots that we could pick up real quick, he'll pick those up while he's out there, but focus it on that main artery that might be a big piece that we're working on. So, you're right, and that's what's unfortunate is folks out there. Some folks are very patient and understanding. Other folks, if your road's not fixed, then we don't care about you. Well, that's not the case at all. I mean, there's hundreds of miles of roads out there. We're trying to catch them up. We've had a lot to do, and I really think that in the Jason's been there about 4 years, and in those 4 years, there has been a lot of work done. I mean, we've caught up on a lot of roads. Our road department is doing a great job. As you said, that's a perfect example. It's never fast enough because until your road's fixed, it's never fast enough. So we're getting to them as quick as we can, and I feel really confident in it. I think folks are going to see their roads get done sooner rather than later. Whereas if we would have stuck to our old plan of if we never would have done that survey, if we would,
right,
we were just tackling problems as they pop up, which is not how you want to approach things. Now we're tackling them properly, and we've got a maintenance program built in so that we can go back and maintain those roads so that we don't have them crumbling and us starting all over. I mean,
Right.
It's not just fix it and forget it. It's fix it, come back to it, and so it's a constant babying of the roads to make sure that they're good to go for a long time.
Well, I'm sure Jason, he's probably not going to say, but he probably has a secret list somewhere that if the surplus comes up and the commissioners look across the different department heads, whether it's the sheriff or whatever, and says, okay, we're going to spend X month, a percentage of this on some wish list stuff. Do you have a wish list?
Yeah.
I bet Jason can have that sucker sitting out.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure he does, yeah. And he's gotten that quite a bit. I would say the last 3 years when we've had quite a bit of overage, not the current overage we have, but before that, we were looking at 10 million, 11 million, somewhere in there on a regular basis. And 90% of that would be dumped right back into the roads department to go fix roads. So that's what has helped us really get ahead of these roads is we've had a few really good years.
Yeah.
Even when oil was low and COVID years, things like that, I think we budgeted really, really well. We didn't hold back on anything, which I was really glad to see. I mean, I know a lot of folks had to make those decisions. The county, we're very lucky in Eddy County to not have held back because the money's continued to come in, not to the level we're seeing now, but they did. But I give all that credit to our budgeting. I mean, I think between Roberta and Al and the department heads, they put a budget together that that is feasible, that's works, and we've stuck to it. And
yeah. Now you don't have to comment on this because you're an elected official, and I don't want you to get in any kind of trouble.
Okay, I appreciate it.
But it's election year.
Yeah.
And there's people running for governor. Matter of fact, I heard a rumor the governor might even be in town today.
Somebody asked me that yesterday. I have no idea.
And she helped out so much with the Brinewell project. Maybe the county ought to, go visit the governor today and hit her up and say, hey, while you're here, here's some road projects that we could use some help with.
Right.
I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah. Well, I will say, if we separate the governor out because she's here, welcome, I guess. But, we do have a really great working relationship with the DOT.
That's great. Yeah.
In fact, we had a meeting a couple weeks ago where we sit down. Well, we've had 2 meetings within the last couple weeks. And I think it was really good to hear that they understand why the roads down here are so important. Because if we make the good, and I think that's where some folks miss it, right? They say, well, why are we spending so much down there? They have so much money. Well, yeah, we are able to make more than most counties, but we also have to spend a lot more than most counties because all the activity is here. So they saw the need and they understand the need of, if our roads are better, product moves better, faster, safer. And if it's moving that way, safer is the most important one out of there that I think folks are starting to realize. But if it moves better, faster, safer, what does that in turn do? Well, that makes the state more money because if you can move product and you can move things around safer, all of a sudden it's easier for them to get things done and accomplished and moved. So I will say our relationship with that department is absolutely fantastic, and they do really come through with us on a lot of big projects. Now they are stuck because some of those projects are, you're talking
huge.
$20-30 million projects, and so it's a little bit different of a bucket than our $5 to $7 million project, but it is good to see, and it's good to see they recognize it, and that's what you want the most, right? I mean, and that's what I wish. So as a county, we recognize that. Now let's take that, what you said earlier, let's take that to a constituent. I wish they would recognize that as well. I mean, there's not an endless surplus of money to spend, but we do everything we possibly can with every dollar we can to dump it right back into what we think is important, which is for our commission. And I would say for the last 4 to 6 years, it's roads and it's safety. So fires, it's fire trucks, it's firefighters, it's sheriff's equipment, all the stuff, and roads. I mean, that's where we have dumped
a bunch of money.
Fire trucks, I should take out. That's a separate pot, but for us, it's
for the roads.
Now we have firefighters that are actually staff members. So we needed 21. We're up to 16. So there was a great report there yesterday. Josh was saying that the live department right now is in Loving, and there was a fire somewhere out there. I don't know. Anyways, we could respond to it and put it out, and it just stuck to one room. Whereas in the past, that could have burned the whole house because the response might not have been near as fast. So you're already seeing citizens be helped because of a fully staffed, paid fire department out there in the county. We're going to have one down here really soon. So. You're seeing a lot of great benefits.
Yeah. So there's one in Loving?
One in Loving. So there's two total. So we'll have one on the north, one in the south. Loving is up there. That's where that one will be because that's closer to the field. And then down here, we're looking at, I think it's either on Tumbleweed or on 13th out by what we have already, trying to place that station right there. So we'll have two in the county.
'Cause you're talking about somewhere near where the county has road.
The road barn out there.
The road barn on South 13th near Tumbleweed.
Yeah, pretty close to the fairgrounds. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good because that helps with insurance ratings and insurance ratings are what affect insurance premiums, which affects what people have to pay for their insurance rates in the future. So.
And we tried to locate them in a place where we're also helpful to both cities, right? Up there, Loving needed help. Obviously, Carlsbad can always use help. Everyone can always use help. It doesn't matter. And so if we locate it there, I mean, they could help Artesia. Artesia could help us. I mean, it's a good, balanced working relationship. And then that's how it works right now anyways. But having another full paid staff really benefits both because they count them differently, right? A full staff member, I think, counts as one on a fire, whereas volunteers, you have to have 3 volunteers to make one full-time paid staff. So the way that I forgot on the letters. There's too many abbreviations some days, but anyways, that's how it works, and that's how they count it to get those insurance premiums and things.
And this is meant to also enhance the volunteer fire departments that are around.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of those entities.
Yeah.
And so it's working with them and not.
Oh, yeah.
Not replacing any of them.
Not at all. We can't replace them. There's no way to replace volunteers. I mean, that's still the backbone of everything. What this is to help shore them up. So you would have a paid staff getting there quickly while the volunteers get to their departments, get their equipment, and get there. So it really is going to have to be, nothing really changes. I mean, we're going to still be majorly dependent on volunteer firefighters because that's the only way to get it done. But you see, just like everywhere else, volunteer numbers aren't quite as high as they used to be, and so you've got to shore those up somehow a little bit. It's just a different environment, whereas, now if they work in the oil field, they could be in Pecos today or something, so it's harder to get back. It's a totally different environment that the volunteers are operating in as well, so we've got to shore that up somehow, and this was, I think, the best way to do that.
All right, we're going to take a break for news, and Eric Butler has some sports for us. We'll be back. I'm sure there was more talked about at the County Commission meeting. He's got a list, so we'll be back in just a moment on Good Morning Artesia.
Now your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. The Carlsbad Lifehouse is planning to host a fundraiser for its mental health and substance abuse services after expanding this year to become a leader in the region for such services. Lifehouse is currently at 1900 West Ridge and provides up to 30 days of intensive residential treatment options. Lifehouse will soon be opening a sober living home in Artesia alongside another service called The Bridge at 808 West Grand Street. An open house is planned for Thursday from 4 to 6 p.m. The annual fundraiser event for Lifehouse is planned for the evening of Saturday, November 5th at the Balzano Family Vineyard and Pumpkin Patch. The Carlsbad City Council now approving the acceptance of $3 million from the State Transportation Department to design, survey, and map the land where a proposed bridge would cross Dark Canyon at Radio Boulevard and Boyd Drive. The bridge is expected to cost about $20 million to build. The state has agreed to do the design work for about $150,000. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
Need to ship a package? Choose UPS. Need to ship a package UPS from Artesia? Bring your package to Brown Drug. Brown Drug wants to be your UPS shipping center in Artesia. Use Brown Drug as your UPS shipping center and we'll reward you by shipping your 11th package 5 pounds or less for free. If you want to make sure your package arrives on time, use UPS. The easy and convenient place to ship UPS in Artesia is Brown Drug at the corner of 4th and Washington.
Hey New Mexico, experiencing issues keeping your office technology up to date with these crazy supply chain issues? Well, DSI is here to help. We've diversified our products and solutions to help your business not just survive, but thrive in any situation. Have your teams collaborate and share with high-def video walls and interactive smart panels. With free unlimited support, the fear of any new technology is a thing of the past. Contact DSI today to upgrade your workspace. www.dsinm.com.
County Sports Report. Let's go to the scoreboard. Lots of games yesterday, including volleyball action for the Artesia Bulldogs. The Bulldogs now 10-5 overall after sweeping Ruidoso 3-0. Artesia just coming off a tough road trip to Rio Rancho and Cleveland on Friday and Saturday. The Lady Dogs will play again tomorrow, 6:30 against Hobbs. Carlsbad, meanwhile, falls at home to Goddard by a 3-0 count. And in girls soccer, Carlsbad falls to Hobbs as well by a score of 2-0. It was in boys soccer, Artesia beating Portales 5-0. The Bulldogs will play against Goddard Saturday at 2 o'clock, and Carlsbad loses boys soccer at Hobbs by a 6-1 count. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at KSVP Radio, AM 990.
I'm Lou Dobbs. A great beginning to the fourth quarter on Wall Street. NVIDIA exits Russia. Micron's $100 billion chip factory. Those stories next. Inflation's at a 40-year high. Interest rates are through the roof, and your retirement accounts are especially vulnerable. That's why the precious metal dealers at American Hartford Gold will show you how to protect your savings and retirement accounts by adding physical gold and silver to your portfolio. Get started with just a quick text to Lou, L-O-U, at 998-899, and American Hartford Gold will have physical gold and silver delivered right to your front door or deposited to your IRA or 401k. It's that easy. And for a limited time, when you text LOU to 998-899, American Hartford Gold will give you up to $1,500 of free silver on your first qualifying order. Text Lou now to 998-899. That's LOU to 998-899. And see what American Hartford Gold can do for you. Once again, text Lou to 998-899. Now, stocks streaking to begin October trading. The Dow Jones Industrials back above 30,000 after 2 positive sessions. The S&P 500 coming off its best 2-day gain in 2 years. NVIDIA is ending its operations in Russia, closing its offices and relocating employees. NVIDIA says it can no longer operate in Russia effectively. Micron Technology building a $100 billion semiconductor factory in New York, the largest microchip facility in the U.S. Micron's investment is on the heels of the government's $52 billion chips bill designed to boost domestic semiconductor production. Meta Platforms announcing more cost cutting, the company condensing its offices and selling some of its corporate properties. Meta says it's adjusting to the hybrid workforce. Apple suppliers staying close to the iPhone maker. 30 of the 48 manufacturing sites in the United States were near Apple's California headquarters. Please join me 3 times each weekday right here on this station. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Hey, we're back on the Good Morning Artesia radio show, and before we get back into our conversation with County Commissioner, let's take a look at our weather forecast, and we'll get to pull up the camera vision from out there at the tower, see if it's still raining out there. So, Steve, what's happening with the weather?
Keeps raining on.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Stationary front just off to our north. We have low pressure off to the south and moist air coming in today. And that means some showers and thunderstorms around, especially this afternoon. 70 for the afternoon high. Showers and thunderstorms will continue for the overnight hours and will drop into the mid-50s. And then cloudy with a few lingering showers possible on Thursday. Low 70s, some more showers Friday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Right now, a little bit of rain out and about out there. Here in town, that's pretty good. 61 degrees, 62 degrees, cloudy skies. Humidity at 74%. Winds out of the north at 4. Pressures at 30.07 and steady. Officially, we had 18/100ths of an inch of precipitation. 7.49 for the year. High yesterday was 84, the low 50. 1 year ago, 85 the high, and 51 the low. It's a little drizzle in 63 in Carlsbad, cloudy in 61 in Roswell, cloudy in 62 in Hobbs. We're looking at our live video east of town, and that's near a giant tower that we are associated with, and one of the clients, one of the tenants on the tower has to replace or repair some transmission line. And so we got the notice the gates are open. We saw the truck pull in, and probably what that guy you're seeing in the video is doing is when they rig a tower, they put basically a pulley up high. Right. And so you've got to pull it out while you're bringing the stuff up, and then it's got to come back in, and you've got to account for it, both ways. You got to account for that cabling both ways when it's pulling stuff up and bringing stuff down. And so he's probably out there where they're running some lines, some pull lines and stuff like that for all that. If it's really, really heavy stuff, obviously they'll hook it up to a truck with a winch and do that. So, and I could freak them out. I could move the camera around out there and say, we're watching you.
Yeah. Somebody is.
Yeah, that's right. So, yep. All right, we're one more quick break. We'll be back with the mayor. No, with the county commissioner. Yeah. I'm sorry. I knew I was going to do that. We'll be back in just a minute.
The preseason is in the books for your Artesia Bulldogs, and with district play just 1 week away, now is your chance to get caught up on the Bulldog season at KSVPTV.com. Simply log on and click on the Artesia Bulldogs tab so you can go back and get caught up on every Bulldog game of the season. Tell your friends and family worldwide that the place to go for all things Bulldogs is KSVPTV.com. Southeastern New Mexico's sports authority, then, now, and always.
We're in challenging dark times, like being in the Carlsbad Caverns without a light, or on the plains of the White Sands at night. We've lacked the light of real leadership in Washington. But in New Mexico, we've got Congresswoman Yvette Harrell fighting for us, against the woke radical liberals in Washington who look down on us. Yvette Harrell fights to secure our southern border and stop the flood of crime and drugs. Yvette Harrell fights for the energy industry that creates New Mexico jobs and can end America's reliance on foreign oil. Yvette Harrell fights for our neighbors, friends, and families' safety by standing with law enforcement against the radicals who want to defund the police. The woke, radical, liberal Democrats have failed us, but we've got our Congresswoman, Yvette Harrell, fighting them, leading for us. Paid for by Right Women PAC, which is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. RightWomen.com.
In volatile times, it's natural to worry about your retirement.
Hon, I'm worried about our retirement account.
With today's economy, it just makes sense to keep your retirement money close to home with people you know. We have several guaranteed safe options. Peace of mind with retirement savings. It just makes sense. Western Bank of Artesia. Member FDIC. It just makes sense.
Amigo Machinery, your local Kubota dealer for Southeast New Mexico, congratulates the Eastern New Mexico State Fair on 100 years. Come out to all the shows, enjoy the entertainment, the music, the food, and the rides as the Eastern New Mexico State Fair celebrates 100 years, October 3rd through the 8th. And Amigo Machinery invites you to tune in to KSVPTV.com for all the junior livestock events. Come celebrate 100 years of the Eastern New Mexico State Fair. Amigo Machinery, your local Kubota dealer, a proud sponsor of the Eastern New Mexico State Fair.
It's Chevy truck season at Guy Chevrolet Company in Artesia. The Chevy Silverado is as durable as it is dependable with its proven power and capability along with advanced technology. And this month you can make it your own with a $1,000 accessory allowance when you purchase or lease a Silverado 1500 or HD. So come on in and see us today at Guy Chevrolet Company on the corner of 1st and Main in Artesia or at GuyChevy.com.
Making a great deal better every day.
Have you noticed the days are getting shorter? This is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. I know it's kind of hard to tell, but we're on the downhill side of the year, so every day is a couple of minutes shorter than the one before, even though your plants need plenty of food and water to keep them healthy. Like those globe willows that are turning yellow. A good dose of the right fertilizer will make them bright green again. No matter what the problems you're having, we probably have a cure at Roswell Seed Company, but come see us soon, because winter's coming, you know.
Get ready to get rowdy. The Eastern New Mexico State Fair and the Hondo Rodeo Company presents the Pecos Valley Stampede Ranch Rodeo. Friday and Saturday, October 7th and 8th, 6 p.m. at the Bob Crosby Arena. Featuring the best in stray gathering, wild cow milking, trailer loading, and muley roping. Best of all, the Pecos Valley Stampede Ranch Rodeo is free with paid admission to the fair. It all goes down October 7th and 8th during the Eastern New Mexico State Fair. Log on to enmsf.com to learn more. Ad paid for through the City of Roswell Lodgers Tax.
Welcome back on the Good Morning Artesia radio show. County Commissioner John Henry is with us, and let's go ahead and continue on with some of the other topics that commissioners worked on yesterday.
You know, another topic that came up, it wasn't a voting topic, it was during the comment section of the agenda, but you know, we've talked about it quite a bit. You know, watching the debates this last week, it came up a couple of times in a couple different debates I've watched, and is the climate change discussion, right?
Okay.
And so really interesting discussion. It was a small portion of it. I'd really like to have Al on here sometime to kind of expand on it even more, because he just went to a conference in, I think it was Lee County or somewhere, and anyways, one of the guest speakers happened to speak on climate change, which is why he was talking to us about it yesterday. And you know, I think there's a lot of things that folks need to understand out there, especially the younger folks that kind of jump on board with popular trends and just run with it, is go and do some actual digging and find out what really is going to happen. You and I have talked a tremendous amount of time on battery-powered cars, electric cars, all that good stuff. So we've had that discussion, but a lot of the discussions that I think, and you see it in California kind of coming to life right now, is they've had solar panels for a really long time. Now those solar panels have exceeded their life or coming to the end of their life, and what are you going to do with them? There is absolutely no plan, because the material in there is pretty rough, pretty bad
You're not
stuff
supposed
in
to
there.
throw it in the landfill.
Can't just throw it in the landfill.
Right.
So you're going to have to, and it's much like the wind blades we see. There's nowhere to throw those. They don't know what to do with those. The batteries in these cars, what are we doing with those? Because there's not just two batteries, or if you had a diesel truck, you got two batteries, or a regular car has one. No, there's a bunch of batteries. And so when those go out, what are we doing with these? And so I think if you really want to truly talk climate change, you've got to get into the real discussions and go find those folks out there that have written. There's some really great books out there. One I just got yesterday from McCutcheon, he's reading it, of folks that don't have an interest either way. They just want to put the facts out. Here's the research we've done. Make your own thought. Kind of like Alex Epstein when a case for fossil fuels.
Right.
I don't have a dog in either fight. Here's what I see. And I really wish more folks would pick up some books like that aren't leaning either way, and just read the facts and then start making decisions. Because what I'm afraid of is when things really start getting rough, you're pretty far down that road. We keep talking about the brownouts, the blackouts, the things that might be coming. When those start happening, you're far enough down that road. It's not going to be a flip the switch and it fixes itself. I mean, it's going to take.
You're seeing it in some states and in some countries.
Yeah.
Where they've had to go back and either keep the coal plants on.
Yeah.
Or turn the nuke plants back on.
Yeah.
What if we get to a point where you can't do that anymore because we've gone all in on this green energy, and we've destroyed we've torn them down. They're gone.
Yeah.
You don't have that option to go flip that back on again.
Yeah.
To solve your energy needs.
Exactly. And what you're seeing is look at the states that have gone all in on this Green Deal. California, Germany as a country has gone all in, and find out what they're paying for electric. It is incredibly expensive to have electricity.
Well, Germany,
in
they're chopping down trees for firewood because they're not going to have access to affordable energy to heat their homes this winter. They're tearing down the forests. Is that the outcome that we wanted from all of this?
Well, and so that was my discussion when I was talking. That was what I said is, look, we pay the consequences for bad policy that happened years ago. So what did I mean by that? And I can say, well, I understand we don't have a lot of forest area in Eddy County, so why is this your concern? Well, because it's a state concern, and it is a concern to Eddy County, because they're running around yelling climate change, all this wonderful thing, and forgetting that, why do the forests look like they do? Why are California having the fires? Why did New Mexico have the fire? It's not because of climate change. It's because we don't manage the forest. They put policies in place a long time ago. That was when I was in elementary school, because I remember following logging trucks down the hill almost every day. They put all of those folks out of business because that was bad, because the owl. Then we had the butterfly. Now we got a mouse. It's something all the time, and we're not managing our forest. And that fuel load gets so heavy that when a fire does burn, you're not just burning the entire forest down, because, if your forest is managed, it'll run through pretty fast, most of them, some of them. But with that fuel load, it's holding it there, and it's burning everything to the ground. And not only that, it's burning so hot, it's scorching the ground. So nothing wants to come back for a really long time. So because of bad policies in the 80s and early 90s, now in 2020, the fires in California have been going on longer than that, but we're paying the consequences now. And I think that's what I'm trying to get folks to understand is that didn't happen in 2017, bad policies. In 2022, we're seeing fire. No, that was early 90s, late 80s when those policies were being put into place, and we're seeing the consequences now. It's a building of time. They've been trying to put these policies in place for a long time when we're not having electricity. And my joke yesterday was, well, the second they can't charge their iPhone, all of a sudden climate change won't exist anymore, because if that convenience is gone, all of a sudden their thoughts will shift. Right now, it's still convenient to yell all that because you have lights, you have a refrigerator, keep your food cool, hospitals up and operational, everything works, so you're not worried about it. But the second they'll start, but then it might be, and I don't want to be a doomsday, not doom and gloom, but you got to pay attention to the policies being put in place and what will it do in the future. And we don't have the load to hold
this is going to affect counties as far as maybe access to funds for certain projects that the county wants to do. Well, if your project that the county wants to do has anything to do with oil and gas,
right,
you may not get access to the loans or the funding or the state credit rating type loans. Because it doesn't fit the environmental agenda. People don't see that kind of discussion is going on in the background, but is that perhaps what the county is being advised about, or some of the information was being shared with you?
And what we're really talking about, yes, that's part of it. The other part is when lights are out, when things are bad, who do folks call? They don't call the governor. They don't call their rep. Most of the time, they're going to call their local representatives. They're going to call the county commissioners. They're going to call the city and say, hey, what's the deal? What are y'all going to do about it? Whereas the effects were federally or state levels, we're the ones that are going to have to fix the problems. A perfect example of that is the border crisis, right? It doesn't affect federally very often. Now that they're being shipped there, it's affecting them a little bit, right? But to the most part, they don't have the effect. It's those small towns and counties right along the border that are feeling the brunt of this.
The human trafficking, the fentanyl.
And there's zero help going towards them. There's $0 going towards them. There's nothing to. So that's why it's important to me to continue to talk about these items or issues, because we're the ones that are going to have to figure it out. And a lot of times we're not equipped to figure out how to make the grid work. I mean, the county in the cities, we don't have the means to make the grid work. This is much bigger than just us. So we can talk about all we want, just like the border. We don't have the means to build the fence. I mean, that's a federal type issue. So my concerns are folks, when those do start happening, we talk about unfunded mandates. It's not a mandate, but it's a problem that we're going to have to attack. And I just don't think counties and cities are equipped and or will ever be equipped to take care of some of the things that are coming, because of these massive feel-good ideas that are out there that we really have no thought into. What is this really going to do? How's this really going to affect the people? You know, and when those electric bills are run up, it's shocking how many folks, no pun intended, I didn't. It's interesting how many folks have talked to me just in the last, let's call it month and a half.
Because they get their bill.
Exactly. And they're not looking to me to, well, why is this? That's not their question, but it's a discussion now. Oh my gosh, mine's up 30%, it's up 40%, it's up. And who does that affect? You know, there's a lot of folks that can absorb that and still be okay. There's a lot of families that can't absorb that. And that's becoming a real problem. And those are the folks that I worry about, all the folks, but the folks that you're making decisions at that point. What do we do? Do we have electric? Do we have food?
Right.
And those are being left behind. And I don't understand how a group that is so concerned about that type of environment all the time is creating a worse environment in that group. So we really got to pay attention to what's going on out there. And I started by talking climate change, but that's, to me, what they're trying to push. That's where the end result is.
We're not fixing the climate. If anything, we're going to make it worse for the climate because of all this stuff that we're doing. I saw a stat this week or late last week that, in essence, since the current president has been in office, they didn't make this equation. I did, because I live in New Mexico. Basically, the population of the state of New Mexico has come across the southern border since the current president has been in office. If you took every person that we know of that's come across the border and we dropped them in New Mexico, we would double our population. That's how many people have come across the border, the southern border. And so it's up to counties like Eddy County and Lee County and Otero and some of these other border counties that are having to confront the issues that come with this massive amount of people that are just flooding across the border right now. and we're worried about climate change,
right?
As opposed to some of these real issues that are going on.
Yeah.
So it was just a discussion thing. Is it
Yeah, it was
something
just
to kind of keep the commissioners aware of?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Keep us aware, letting us know what was being discussed and how it's interesting because, there's a lot of votes we have to cast and all that stuff, but there's also a lot of things I think we have to pay attention to. How's this going to affect us in the long run? What can we do to help? And like I said, a lot of times it's just getting our voice out there and continuing to talk. Sometimes you think you're being ignored, but that's okay. If you at least talk, at least you got it out there. And maybe someone might think, that sort of makes sense. We better back up and take a look. And that's what you're looking for. I think that's all any of us are asking for is take a harder look at this and make sure it's best for New Mexico before we jump in.
I could see some of these road projects. Are you doing the road? Are the roads being redone the greenest way possible?
Yeah.
Those questions are going to happen.
Which is impossible because I'll let you know, everything that goes on the road is oil and gas petroleum products.
I know. But are you doing it as an environmentally friendly way possible?
Yeah. That's it. It's going to
Are you going to be, is the county going to be able to access the money to be able to do this? Well, you're not ticking all the environmental boxes on this road project.
Yeah.
You're just trying to put a road in or fix a road or keep a road going so we can. It's kind of scary.
Yeah. Well, look at Florida. I mean, you saw the discussions now of when Florida evacuated. What if all those folks had electric cars? Would they got out? It's a good question. It's an interesting question.
We're out of time in this segment, but I got to tell you a story about a video I watched this morning that's hilarious, involving a $115,000 electric truck.
Oh, wow.
And you'll get a kick out of that. I may share it on the air. This is KSVP Artesia. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Hang on to your wallet. OPEC and its ally Russia voting to cut oil production by 2 million barrels a day starting next month. It's a move that could deliver a blow to the struggling global economy while raising politically sensitive pump prices for U.S. drivers just ahead of the midterm elections. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen accusing Vladimir Putin of using energy to threaten Europe.
Putin has launched Russia's first mobilization since World War II, treating hundreds of thousands of young Russians as cannon fodder. He uses sham referenda in an illegal attempt to change international borders by force. And since many months, he is using energy as a weapon.
That's energy that Europe rushed to buy before Putin invaded Ukraine. And Ukrainian troops are on a roll, rolling back Russian forces in the east.
Donetsk, Kherson, and now Luhansk. Officials there say the liberation of the region has begun and several villages are free of Russian control. The move into Luhansk would mark a significant milestone in the Ukrainian counteroffensive in the east, as Russian forces seem to be abandoning long-held positions. Something similar is happening in the southern Kherson region. Ukraine has taken back villages along the Dnipro River as Russian troops retreat. Despite the humiliating setbacks, President Putin has signed legislation to annex 4 partially occupied regions of Ukraine, including territory his army does not control.
That's the BBC's Hugo Bishega. President Biden travels to hurricane-ravaged Florida today. He'll get updates on the storm recovery efforts. Also will meet with Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis. Sell-off continues on Wall Street. The Dow's down 405 points. The Nasdaq off 248. The S&P 63 points in the red. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Charlie Dombeck here from Key City Capital. As a practicing CPA for nearly 30 years, I have found that 80% of your ability to grow your wealth is dependent upon 2 factors: taxes and investment performance. At Key City Capital, we improve investment performance by diversifying capital into off-market investment opportunities in passive rental real estate and alternatives like asset-backed lending. We recover dollars that clients unnecessarily pay in the form of income taxes, creating a lifetime annuity of savings. We are a sponsor of passive, affordable single and multifamily residential rental investments, which are located in Sunbelt landlord-friendly states. These investments are the top choices in a rising interest rate and inflationary environment. They represent a store of value, protecting your capital from market volatility. Learn how we at Key City Capital can help you ultimately grow your wealth rapidly. Connect with me at keycitycapital.com or give me a call at 817-912-1569.
California police searching for a possible serial killer or killers.
Stockton, California police think whoever has shot and killed half a dozen men seem to be on some form of a mission. Police Chief Stanley McFadden tells KXTV 6 men have been killed and a woman wounded in attacks that date back to last year. He says the woman was able to describe the person who opened fire on her.
Wearing all dark clothing, wearing a dark COVID-style mask that was concealing his face, and wearing a dark jacket as well.
5 of the 6 men killed and the woman were shot in Stockton. The other male victim was killed some 70 miles away in Oakland. McFadden says all of the cases are linked by ballistic test and some video evidence. I'm Tim McGuire.
Malfunctioning South Korean ballistic missile blew up today as it hit the ground. It happened during a live fire drill with the U.S. Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. Things are apparently winding down in the Alex Jones defamation lawsuit in Connecticut.
The final family member of a victim of the Sandy Hook Elementary School massacre has now taken the stand. Mark Barden's son Daniel was one of the 26 victims of the shooting. He says he and his family suffered again when they heard that people were desecrating his son's grave and that some conspiracy theorist had planned to dig up his 7-year-old son's grave to prove the shooting was a hoax. The plaintiffs are expected to rest their case when court resumes in the morning. His lawyers say InfoWars host Alex Jones is unlikely to testify again, which will make the defense case a brief one. I'm Oscar Wells Gabriel.
Roger Maris's 1961 American League home run record has finally fallen. Aaron Judge did it, hitting his 62nd home run of the season. Once again on Wall Street, the NASDAQ is down 236 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
I know what you're expecting to hear right now, the announcement of today's KSVIP. Well, I don't have a name for today, and I need your help. If you know someone who needs to be recognized for being a very special person, call right now, 746-2751. Ask for Tana and schedule a KSVIP. Your special someone will be recognized at this time all day long on their day, and they'll receive a flower courtesy of Lovebud Floral in Artesia. So call today and schedule your KSVIP.
They see me mowing my front lawn. I know they're all thinking I'm so white and nerdy. Think I'm just too white and nerdy. Think I'm just too white and nerdy. Can't you see I'm white and nerdy? Look at me, I'm white and nerdy. I wanna roll with the gangsters, but so far they all think I'm too white and nerdy. Think I'm just too white and nerdy. Think I'm just too white and nerdy. I'm just too white and nerdy. Really, really white and first in my class there at MIT. Got skills, I'm a champion of D&D. MC Escher, that's my favorite MC. Keep your 40 out, just have an Earl Grey tea.
Hey, we're back on the Good Morning Artesia radio show, and it is the 9 o'clock hour. Normally it would be maybe a guest or chit-chat about something. We'll have Aaron Irving here in a little bit, and then we finish up the hour with CVE, but they're all enjoying the Eastern New Mexico State Fair, which is going on right now. And if you're wanting to see one of the livestock shows that's going on, we are Tanner Todd and his crew Renowned are up there doing some broadcasting, streaming from up there. So if you go to ksvptv.com, that's the website, ksvptv.com, one of the first buttons you'll see is the Eastern New Mexico State Fair. And right now it is the Market Lamb Show. So the Market Lamb Show is streaming right now from the fair. A good number of folks are watching right now as I look at the old statistics here. Let's see, where are they watching from? It looks like they're watching from California, Los Angeles, California. They're watching from Nevada. We've got viewers watching from Nevada right now. Phoenix area. We've got a bunch up in the Albuquerque area, up around Clayton, Amarillo, back towards Midland, Odessa, and that part of the country. Dallas, a couple of destinations in Kansas, Missouri. That's just really, really cool. We've got people watching all over the central and southwestern United States that are watching the Market Lamb Show at the Eastern New Mexico State Fair in Roswell. 8 states. We have viewers in 8 different states that are watching. Houston, mayor mentioned, or the commissioner mentioned Houston a second ago. We've got viewers down in Houston right now that are watching the show. Oh, there it is right now. So yeah, you can pull it up and hey, look, there's Tommy's place, Candlewood Suites. If you got anybody coming into town and they're going to be in Roswell and they need a place to stay, call Tommy Salisbury at Candlewood Suites up in Roswell, and they'll or anybody there, but that's where Tommy is, and they'll make sure they take care of you. So yeah, there's the old market lambs being shown from the Eastern New Mexico State Fair. If you are watching online, if you're listening to us on the radio, I can tell you there are young people with lambs walking around a judge who's in a sport coat. So it must be pleasant weather. Yeah, that judge is wearing a sport coat. So that judge is dressed for seriousness there at the Eastern New Mexico State Fair. There you go. Isn't that great? Lon and I pulled up some of the show from last night, and she said it's just a glorified dog show, is all it is. Yeah, the guy with the sports coat. And sneakers. That's right. So anyway, Jeffrey, if you want to pop in here, I got a story to tell you that you might get a kid. Let's do the weather first. Because we might have some more rain today. So, Steve, get in here and let us know what kind of weather we're going to have today.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Stationary front just off to our north. We have low pressure off to the south and moist air coming in today. And that means some showers and thunderstorms around, especially this afternoon. 70 for the afternoon high. Showers and thunderstorms will continue for the overnight hours and will drop into the mid-50s. And then cloudy with a few lingering showers possible on Thursday. Low 70s, some more showers Friday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Sorry about that. I was confusing Jeffrey. Everything we're going to do. He's got the lamb show going. Then he had to put the video up since I said we're going to go ahead and do the weather after I told him to come on in here so I could tell him the story. I'm sorry. 63 right now in Artesia. Cloudy skies. Light rain expected to be in the area here soon. Our humidity is at 73%. Our dew point is 54 degrees right now. Our winds are out of the north at 5. Pressure at 30.07 and steady. Our air quality is 54. We have moderate air quality at this hour. High yesterday was 84. The overnight low 50. 1 year ago we had a high of 85 and a low of 51. Minimum 4-inch soil temps are around 70. We had 18 1/100ths of an inch of precipitation yesterday, bringing our total for the year to 7.49 inches of rain for the year. Sunset will be at 6:36. Sunrise will be at 6:55. Around the region, drizzle. 65 in Carlsbad, 63 in drizzle in Roswell, cloudy and 63 in Hobbs. Around New Mexico, got some drizzle, 56 in Albuquerque, just flat out rain, and 48 in Santa Fe. Drizzle and 48 in Cloudcroft, drizzle and 51 in Ruidoso. Partly cloudy and 63 in Las Cruces. Mostly sunny, 55 in Farmington. Drizzle and 39 at Red River. Cloudy and 60 in Clovis. And in West Texas, cloudy and 64 in Lubbock. Partly cloudy and 62 in El Paso. And again, we've got cloudy skies, but could see some rainy conditions around 10 o'clock this morning here in Artesia, New Mexico. All right, so let me see if Jeffrey gets a kick out of this. Story. If you want to pop in here, Jeffrey, I was telling this to Jeffrey and the commissioner during the news break because he was talking about climate change. You know, we're being told that there's climate change. We need to worry about climate change. We need to think about climate change. We need to do all these things with our economy because of the climate change. And there's a channel that I watch out of, they're out of the Boulder, Colorado area. It's TFL, the Fast Lane Car, Truck, EV, RV, HOA. No, I don't think they do homeowners association. Yeah. So, but anyway, this is the same group that bought an F-150 Lightning, flew to Michigan, drove it back to Boulder, and then they took it to Dead Horse, Alaska. Called it Amps to Alaska. And they drove the electric truck all the way up to Alaska and back. Now, they had to have an F-150 with the Pro Power along with them, and they spent many a night and day and night looking for places to charge and charging, but they made it. They made it. So they trade in the F-150 Lightning, and they buy a brand new GMC Hummer. And these are absolutely beautiful vehicles. They're massive batteries. They've got tremendous amount of torque. I think they've got creeper mode, or some kind of. I mean, they've just all kind of crazy technology that's plowed into this vehicle, and they're calling it a moonshot for GM. And there's a lot of moon themes throughout the cabin and all this stuff. I mean, they look really, really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But they're all electric. They're battery electric. They weigh 9,000 pounds with the wheels, the tires, the drivetrain, the battery pack, everything that's involved with these things. They weigh 9,000 pounds. So they pick up the Hummer, and they've done some video shooting with it, and he's driving back from where they did the video shoot, headed back to Boulder, and I think he's in Littleton, Colorado. And the car, the Hummer, is screaming, "You've got a problem with your steering system. You've got a problem with your steering system." Now, he's driving the car fine, right?
Yeah.
So he pulls into a left turn lane at a busy intersection. Traffic is backed up, so he's not at the light. He's backed up a ways, and it looks like he's going to be sitting there for a while. And the vehicle says, "Oh, and by the way, there's a software update available." So he says, "Well, I'm going to be sitting here for a little bit," and he pops the button to tell it to go ahead and do the software update. Okay? The car locks up. The computer system locks up. The car goes into park. He can't get it out of park. It's all electronic.
Yeah.
You got a little knob there. He's clicking the knob. It's not going out of park. It is stuck in park.
And there's not a Control-Alt-Delete. There's no keyboard to hit that.
So everything that's coming up on the screen is saying, well, let's start in safe mode.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you have a computer, you know what that means.
Yeah.
You don't load up any of the drivers. You just load up the most basic of stuff so you can try to troubleshoot and figure out. So he's trying to put the car into safe mode, which still does not allow him to drive the car. So there he is. He is stuck in a left turn lane at a busy intersection in Littleton, Colorado, with a 9,000 pound, $115,000 vehicle that no go. It will not move. It cannot go. It doesn't reboot. It doesn't start up. He says, "Okay, well, let me get into the trunk, the frunk. Maybe I can unhook the battery, because not the drivetrain battery pack, but all these vehicles still have a conventional 12-volt battery system. They're still, just like any other car, they've got a 12-volt battery that powers all the systems in the car." He said, "Maybe if I unplug the battery, disconnect the battery, and reboot the computer, maybe I can get the vehicle going." He can't open the frunk. Any button he pushes on the fob, whatever, he goes to the whatever. The frunk will not open. He cannot get into the car. There's only two things that are working in the car at this point: the flashers and the wipers. That's it. Nothing else is working in this car.
I can sit in my parked car in a rainstorm and see out the window.
Exactly. Fortunately, a Littleton, Colorado police officer pulls up behind at flashlights. Otherwise, he'd be stuck in, who knows, crazed weasels driving their cars, coming up on an intersection, run into the guy. So he felt a little safer at that. So he finally gets a hold of General Motors. What do? I can't do anything with the car. Well, we can dispatch a tow truck in 1 hour. So he's got to wait an hour minimum for a tow truck to come to pick up a 9,000-pound truck that's stuck in park.
Sorry.
So his son shows up. He's also one of the producers of content on the channel. And they're on the phones. There's no owner's manual.
Yeah.
They're on the phones. They're searching the owner's manual. They're looking at chat rooms. You're in a $115,000 vehicle stuck in an intersection, and you're looking online in chat rooms?
Trying to search for a YouTube video?
Yes. Okay. If you're sitting there trying to fix something in the bathroom or in the kitchen, you got time to do that. You're stuck in a $115,000 vehicle in an intersection, and you're looking online for chat rooms. Hey, how do I do this? The tow truck guy shows up, and he's got a big roll-off tow truck. And they say to him, hey, can you pull this thing up if it's in park? It's 9,000 pounds. And the tow guy's like, I don't think so. He's like, there's got to be a tow haul mode. Most vehicles have a button you push, a key you insert, something to disengage the transmission so that the tow company can pull it up on the truck. He can't find anything, and they go through the whole thing. It's in reboot, recycle, blah, blah, blah. Finally, in one of the discussion groups, they find deep in the crevices underneath the dash, in front of where the driver sits. If you get down on the floor and you crawl up underneath there on your back, and you get a light and you look, there's a little ring hook that if you pull that, it will let you open the frunk. $115,000 vehicle. There isn't even a stinking hood release.
Yeah.
Every car I've ever driven in, there's a lever either on the floor or underneath the dash that says hood.
Yeah.
That if you pull it, it pulls a little cable that disengages a little relay or a latch, and the hood opens. You can't do that in a $115,000 vehicle.
The second heaviest vehicle, I'm pretty sure you can take care of it quite easily. It's a Ford F-150 Super Duty Crew Cab.
I bet they've got a hood release.
Oh yeah. It's 8,600 pounds. But that thing can also still tow that Hummer, that electric Hummer.
Exactly. So they finally pop the hood, they get the frunk open, and they find where the battery is. So they got to remove all these covers to get to the battery. They get the toolkit out. They disconnect the battery, the 12-volt battery. They wait about a minute or two, hook it back up. The truck finally reboots. Yeah. And now they can put it in drive. They can put it in neutral. And they decided at that point in time they were driving straight to the dealership.
Yeah.
No, don't pass go. Don't stop.
Yeah.
Don't get out of the car. Don't do anything. Just take it straight to the dealership.
Get that police officer to give you an escort.
Exactly.
Broken Hummer coming through.
This happened like Tuesday.
Yeah.
Understand or Tuesday. Can you imagine having to deal with that and remember, and look, I understand that the Hummer is a unique vehicle. Not everybody's going to go buy a Hummer. There's people that are going to buy it because they can.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a lot of people that are going to enjoy it, and I understand all that. I'm not,
right.
But we're being told by everybody in authority that you and me, we have to go buy one of these stupid electric vehicles. And are we going to have the same kind of issues with our $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 electric vehicles that these poor guys had with their $115,000 vehicle? And in all of the issues that were contemplated, because remember, when you buy a phone, it's a computer.
Yeah.
All right? There's bugs. How many different releases of software are there when a new version of software comes out? I don't care if it's Android, KitKat, or whatever they're calling them now, or if it's iOS. As soon as they release it out into the world, people are going to discover bugs. Well, it doesn't work with this app. It makes this app mess up. What happened with the iPhones? The iPhone 14's iOS 16, there was some bug in it that if you tried to use a third-party app with the camera would just sit there and bzzz, Yeah. Okay, we're talking about a phone. All right? You're not stuck in traffic. You're not blocking traffic. You haven't paid $115,000 for the darn thing. You've paid, $1,000 or whatever. But you can live the life.
Right.
You're not putting other people in danger in most cases.
Your phone will be just fine. Everything will be just fine until you get to somewhere where you can download the firmware update.
There you go. Update. But and so I understand that. So there's always new versions of software and updates. I mean, people that write software, it works perfect with iOS 14, but now there's iOS 16, so now we've got updated. That happens all the time in the tech world. Do we want that to happen in the automotive world, in the transportation world? I think not.
No. And they need to make the Control-Alt-Delete lever in a much more accessible place.
Yeah.
Like, if you are going to have this, okay, but don't make me crawl under the vehicle to reach up and pull a little lever.
I forgot even the best part. Once the truck rebooted, in order to initialize the truck, and you can go watch it. It's on TFL Car. Go watch it on YouTube. Okay, they had to hold their foot on the brake for 20 seconds. Then they had to roll down and roll up the passenger window. Roll down and roll up the driver window. Hold the foot on the brake for another 20 seconds. Roll down the rear passenger window. I'm not making this up. And the tow truck guy is knocking on the window, and he's like, hold on a second. I can't open the door yet. It's not to that sequence. They had to open the passenger door, open the driver door, roll down and roll up this window, roll up and roll. I'm not making this up, Jeffrey. They had to do all of that after they reconnected the battery just to get the truck to say, we can move now. Seriously. I understand, like, you take your car in to get the oil change, and you want the oil change light reset. Okay, turn the key, flip the turn signal, push the brake pedal 3 times. I mean, I know there's a sequence on some things like that. We're talking, I've hooked the battery up. I've just turned my truck. Okay, hold the foot on the brake pedal for 20 seconds. Now roll down the driver's side window and roll it up. Roll down the passenger side window, roll it up. Hold the foot on the brake, 20 seconds. Open the driver door, open the passenger door, roll down the... Seriously?
Yeah. Well, it's like fobs.
Yeah.
I've had to replace these, and I hate that sequence that you have to do to pair it.
Yeah.
It's slightly more annoying than pairing a new Bluetooth headset. But still, it's annoying, but, it's going to take me a minute or 30 seconds.
You've never gotten AirPods, have you? Do you know what the pairing process is?
I meant this.
I know you meant that, but you said like a Bluetooth headset?
Yeah.
AirPods, open the case next to your phone. Bling.
Yeah.
Anyway, but
if I get the Google Pod, they'll do the same thing, but I like third market things, which Android allow.
Anyway, but my point is, these are very, 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 very expensive rolling computers. And if troubleshooting and rebooting and restarting is written by people that write software for phones, we're screwed. What they need to do is kick all those idiots out, bring in the conventional automotive engineers, and say, okay, here's the problem, computer's locked up, how do we move the car? And I guarantee there'll be a freaking lever on the firewall that says pull here to reset.
In the same place where the hood latch is on most vehicles.
Bring in the real engineers, bring in the automotive engineers that know that if you're going to sell 20, 30, 40, 80, 100,000 of these things, that 99.9% of the people that you're going to sell these things to are not going to have the patience, the desire, or want to figure out that entire sequence that they had to go through. You need to watch that video. And when they reconnected the battery and turned all they had to go through just to get the car to say, okay, we can move now.
That's hilarious. It kind of reminds me of of a lot of audio equipment.
Mm-hmm.
You have to turn those on in a sequence.
Oh, yeah.
Which that's fine. As long as you know the sequence, it doesn't add or reduce any time. You just have to.
Yeah.
But it's not that complicated.
I know.
It's just the simple 1, 2.
Yeah. Turn on. Well, we do it when we go through our stuff like for a radio remote. You know.
The trailer.
Before you power up the laptop, plug in the audio adapter, plug in the whatever. Make sure that's all plugged in first, and then power everything up. But
then you power the amps, and you. Yeah.
But we didn't pay $115,000, and it doesn't weigh 9,000 pounds. So anyway, I thought y'all would get a kick out of that.
Someone else get one, and you can tell me.
Like
about
I said, they're absolutely. If you got the money and you want to buy one, go buy one. They're awesome.
Yeah.
They're absolutely awesome. Just don't do a software reboot while you're driving down the road. Or you'll have to go through what those guys went through.
I'm stuck in the roundabout.
Yeah, and then try to tow it out of there. All right, we're going to take a break, open up the Zoom room, see if Aaron's ready to run out and buy a Hummer next.
This is Dallas Cowboys football 2022.
High formation. Ferguson, the fullback.
Only heard here.
In front of Elliott. 3rd and goal from the 1.
All season.
Handoff. Elliott coming right, pushing. Goal line. Bangs in. Touchdown, Elliott.
Sunday afternoon, it's your Cowboys and the L.A. Rams.
Live from SoFi Stadium
On this Dallas Cowboys radio network station.
Sunday at 1:30 p.m. on your Dallas Cowboy station, 92.9 The Brand.
Due to the passing of our good friend Johnny Crook, Mrs. Crook has commissioned Bill Johnston Auctioneers to conduct an estate auction in Artesia on Saturday, October 8th at 9 a.m. Items for auction include tractors, wheel loaders, backhoe, swather, balers, hay equipment, trailers, antiques, vintage cars, farm equipment, forklifts, collectibles, memorabilia, signs, neon lights, furniture, welders, gators, shop equipment, and more. Saturday, October 8th, 9 a.m. at 7529 Highway 285. From Artesia, go 4 miles north on Highway 285, then west a quarter mile to the auction site. Look for the signs. The Artesia Arts Council welcomes you back to Art in the Park, happening Friday and Saturday, October 14th and 15th at JC Park in Artesia. Come and find unique, one-of-a-kind handmade arts, decor, collectibles, and so much more. All made by artisans and crafters from all over the region. Jewelry, paintings, carved skulls, custom items, and more. Plus, don't miss the Artesia High School Band's annual Cakewalk event and performances from the New Mexico School of the Arts Jazz Band. Come hungry because plenty of food trucks will be on hand too. Art in the Park 22, Friday the 14th from 2 to 8 p.m. and Saturday the 15th from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. at JC Park in Artesia. Paid for by Artesia Lodgers Tax. It's the Big Meat Savings Sale at Fenn's Country Market in Artesia. Bone-in sirloin cut pork chops, family pack, $1.29 a pound. Boneless, skinless chicken breasts, previously frozen, $2.39 a pound. Choice beef bottom round roast, family pack, $3.99 a pound. And tenderized beef cube steak, $5.99 a pound at Fenn's Country Market in Artesia. And right now, Dasani Water, 24-pack, 2 for $9 at Fenn's Country Market in Artesia.
Artesia High School Bulldogs Sports is made possible thanks to Buckhorn Production, LLC. Founded in 2021, Buckhorn Production, LLC operates over 200 wells in the Permian Basin. Like the Artesia Bulldogs, Buckhorn Production, LLC strives for excellence in all of our operations. We encourage all of our employees to be great members of our community and encourage you to join them in supporting all of our athletes, students, teachers, and administrators. Buckhorn Production, LLC, proud to support the Artesia Bulldogs.
This is John.
Hey, my name is John Jackson.
He's not some actor. He's a steward of the land with a John Deere 3 Series tractor. John runs with us. Nothing runs like a Deere. Get a 3 Series tractor with 0% APR for 72 months at your John Deere dealer today. For additional cost information, please call toll-free 855-633-2316.
Stop by Pecos Valley Equipment in Artesia or Roswell, or visit us online at pecosvalleyequipment.com.
Devon Energy is proud to support Artesia High School athletic programs. By partnering with Artesia, we're making an investment in the long-term future of our community. Sports teach discipline, teamwork, and leadership, skills our youth will use to succeed for a lifetime. From our team to yours, Devon Energy wishes you good luck this season, both on the field and in the classroom. Go Bulldogs from Devon Energy.
Hey, we're back on the Good Morning Artesia radio show. Aaron Irving is with us from LPL Financial Services. Oakley and Irving Wealth Management. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
Great. I was showing you, I can't communicate with you offline, unfortunately, the way I have this wired, but I pulled up that section of the video from the Hummer where they said, okay, can you roll down the window? You have to roll this window down. Can you do this? Can you do that? That whole sequence they had to go through when they hooked the battery back up to the computer. And it's on TFL Truck. So if you find the Fast Lane Truck on the YouTubes, and it's already had 162,000 views, 7,000 likes, and then in the comments, this is not a sponsored video, but they bought the truck from a person who had they had bought the rights to get one of the early models. You know how sometimes car people, they'll sell, be the first one to buy one of these first edition vehicles.
Right. You pay to get in line, basically.
You pay to get in line. And so the guy that paid to get in line to get the vehicle sold it to the Fast Line Truck folks with the request that they promote a charity that this guy supports called Dumb Friends League, which when I first heard that, I thought, what is that? It's for people that care about pets, dogs and cats, Dumb Friends League, up in Colorado. Anyway, I think there should be a physical neutral button to prevent the electronics from leaving the truck in a spot. That's kind of what we were talking about. This is happening to a lot of expensive vehicles. You should do a whole segment on this. Listen to people dealing with lemons and have them come on your channel, random shutdowns, etc. It's wonderful. We are now expected to become IT specialists to troubleshoot our car's problems, or else it'll completely physically lock us out of driving.
Just wait until you say something you're not supposed to say while you're driving, and then all of a sudden your car shuts down because it wasn't politically correct or woke enough, or
that's
if
right.
You post something on social media, your car privileges might get taken away.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's coming. That's that's on the way. Now, again, if you're watching online, folks, Aaron has got another one of his tributes to our leadership here in New Mexico. We've heard a rumor the governor might be in Artesia today, or was here yesterday. I'm not entirely sure. And I thought, what if I did have the chance to interview the governor? And so I was thinking of a couple of questions. And so I've written down a couple of questions. You might tell me if these would be appropriate.
Okay.
Thank you, Governor. Is that the jewelry you bought during COVID?
Totally appropriate.
Mic's off. We're done. And then my second question, you inspired me this with the images you have on the screen. Governor, can I borrow some fencing?
She's still using it.
If we give you credit, can we have our roads fixed?
How hard was it to get that brine well filled all by yourself?
Yeah. When did you first get involved in the brine well project, and why were you so concerned about it? So.
In short, Governor, what I'm trying to say is...
No! No. That's terrible.
Yes, it is.
I'm writing that down. Okay. So I don't know. I mean, obviously, if she's here, that's good. I'm meeting with supporters, I'm sure, and it's going to be interesting to see who amongst these different politicians actually do spend some time in this part of the state, and who they spend time with and what the messaging is that they're trying to portray when they do venture down here. Right. If they do venture down here, I don't know how many of them are going to have time to come down here and visit with us.
Yeah. We're not where all the votes are, really, but Yeah, I just hope some of the people that have been demonized by that regime don't just, kowtow like so often they do and pose for a photo op with her to help her get votes just to curry some favor. That never works well,
I don't think
with the wolves, you're going to get eaten eventually if you're a sheep.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I have to be honest. I think if you look back at the last administration in Artesia, mayor administration, Mayor Ray Miller was very careful to not be confrontational with the leadership in Santa Fe, and I think it led to Artesia having access to some grant money and some other programs that maybe some of our surrounding communities that had a little more vocal opposition and letters. But while that was an excellent result and a perfectly acceptable observation of the current situation, it at the time it also upset some folks because they were really wanting pushback. They wanted, we need to be fighting back. We need to be saying no. We need to be saying stop. And I totally get it.
There's an argument on both sides, and yeah, as vindictive as that regime is, not saying which regime it is, but as vindictive as they are, and that you kind of have to, if you're in a government position where you're relying on the state, you kind of have to play that game a little bit. But unfortunately, we see some areas around that were totally against and got punished for it, and there's no court remedy because this New Mexico Supreme Court has kind of the same political bias, you may say.
Right. Well, yeah, they've upheld a lot of these decisions, and there's not enough will in the legislature to rein in any of these emergency powers on the part of the chief executive, whether it's this one or anyone in the future.
I don't think anybody should have that power. That's why we're not a dictatorship. We're a monarchy. We have it divided amongst the people we vote for, and with Republican governor, Democrat governor, those emergency powers, they're designed for a short-term thing, like a 30-day. And within 30 days, you can get the legislature to make up some rules and things like that. If not, they're too lazy to do it. And so it's unacceptable for the legislature to put that off on the governor and allow the governor to have that kind of power. It's not designed that way.
Right.
It shouldn't be.
Right, and it's and I totally understand having the chief executive having certain emergency authorities, because until situations evolve and develop, you can't be running around to 15 different agencies and people and trying to, what do we need to do? That's the role of the chief executive.
You can't gather the legislature in a day or two, right? That's pretty difficult to get everybody together that quick. But yeah, a 30-day emergency powers makes sense. But any longer than that, the legislature's just lazy.
Yeah, and it should. But there's not enough people in the legislature that support that concept. And so we continue. I printed out something the other day. Did you know we still have, or up until just recently, there was still a requirement that if you had somebody on your staff that got COVID, you still had to report it to the state?
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I printed, I don't know if it's in the other room, but I printed, I just thought it was odd because there was I think it was one of our health officials in the state said that they were going to go along with some of the other guidance from like the CDC, and they were going to start, they're not going to punish people for not reporting people on staff who get COVID like they were required to do back when it was first going on and we were trying to figure out how to handle all this. And if you had so many people, if you got somebody, you had to report it. If you had so many reports in a certain period of time, you had to go into shutdown, all this other kind of stuff. Well, all that reporting requirement is still there.
Wow.
Which is why when I read the story, I thought, holy cow, we're still supposed to do that? We're still supposed to call up the state and say, hey, we got a COVID patient here. I didn't know. I didn't know.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that nobody here has gotten COVID in the last year and a half. No, seriously, nobody here has gotten COVID.
Wow.
You know, because I want to make it clear that ignorance, they say ignorance is not, you know, an excuse.
Bliss.
Well, it is bliss, but but that's one of the things that I would think would require legislative review. If we're going to impose this kind of policy through our state agencies, through OSHA or whatever, we're going to impose this kind of policy that was never voted on by the legislature in a legislative session or a special session. We're just going to allow this ability to impose this kind of regulation forever?
Yeah, it's crazy. And then the money, like she's been able to spend all of the federal money that came in on her, whatever her whim is. The legislature didn't vote on it or anything. It's just whatever MLG wants, that's where they're spending the money.
I think, didn't the court back up that? Wasn't there a couple of challenges to that?
I don't remember for sure on that.
Yeah, but I mean, if there had been any challenges, they were, the courts, for the most part, have always ruled in favor of how things have been done through the pandemic. So, which means the legislature has to step up and change some regulations and some laws to, because if the court is doing its job, it's just interpreting the constitutionality of the cases that are brought before it. And if they're finding that there's nothing really to say that this can't be done,
that emergency powers can't last forever and that type of thing.
Yeah, if they're not finding that specifically, then that's going to require the legislature to step up and say, okay, you know, here's what we're going to do. I tell you something.
That would require people to vote.
That would require people to vote, exactly. So, well, good. Well, make us smile today. Do you have a funny for us?
I do. 6 guys were playing poker when Smith loses $500 on a single hand, clutches his chest, and drops dead at the table. Showing respect for their fallen comrade, the other 5 complete their playing time standing up. After the game, Mr. Roberts looks around and says, "Now who's going to go tell his wife?" They draw straws, and Rippington, who's always a loser, picks the short one. They tell him, "Rippington, we need you to be discreet, be gentle, don't make a bad situation any worse than it is." Rippington says, "Gentlemen, discreet? I'm the most discreet man you'll ever meet. Discretion is my middle name. Leave it to me." So he walks over to the Smith house, knocks on the door, and the wife answers and asks what he wants. Rippington says, "Your husband just lost $500 playing cards." She hollers, "Tell him to drop dead." Rippington says, "I'll tell him."
She doesn't have to know when this happened.
Right.
That's a good one. I like it. I like it. Yep.
Thank you.
That ought to leave us on a good note there. Do you have another one for us, or?
Sure, I got a short one for you.
Okay.
Did you know that Superman once challenged Chuck Norris to a fight?
Ooh, I bet that didn't go well.
Yeah, the loser had to wear his underwear over his clothes for the rest of his life.
Yeah. I know who won. Give it to old Chuck. He knew what to do. That's a good one. I like it. He had to wear his underwear over his the rest of his life. And all other actors who portray that character have to do the same thing.
All subsequent generations must wear their underwear on the other.
That's right. Except for Ben Affleck. He could never be, Batman was okay because that's a pretty hiding, that's a suit that he can hide in. But I don't know if anybody'd want to see Ben Affleck as Superman.
True.
So, very good. Well, let's see how the old markets are doing today, if you've got a moment to do that.
All right.
Okay.
This is Aaron Irving with LPL Financial, member of FINRA and the SIPC, bringing you your mid-morning stock market report for Wednesday, October the 5th. U.S. stocks fell today, giving back some of their sharp gains from the last 2 sessions as Treasury yields rose. The Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped 1.4%, while the S&P 500 and NASDAQ Composite were down 1.7% and 2.3% respectively. Treasury yields rebounded today, weighing on stocks, with the 10-year rate trading 10 basis points higher at 3.713% after briefly dipping below 3.6% yesterday. Private payrolls increased by 208,000, according to an ADP report this morning, topping a Dow Jones estimate. Traders are still looking ahead to Friday's release of the non-farm payrolls report. Yesterday, the Dow jumped about 825 points, while the S&P 500 gained nearly 3.1%, and the NASDAQ Composite gained 3.3%. Those gains, which come on the back of falling bond yields, led to the strongest two-day stretch for the S&P 500 since 2020. Market participants wondered whether those signs could mean markets have finally priced in a bottom after the sharp declines in the prior quarter. Lumen is down more than 10% after Wells Fargo downgraded the tech company's rating to equal weight from overweight. They cut the stock's price target to $8 a share, which is about 0.5% below where the stock closed yesterday, but more than 56% less than its previous target of $12.50. Currently, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 264 points at 30,051. The S&P 500 is 50 points lower at 3,740, and the NASDAQ Composite is off by 207 points to 10,970. West Texas Intermediate crude is up $1.61 per barrel to $88.13. Stocks of local interest, HF Sinclair is down 51 cents a share to $57.73. Walmart is off $1.20 to $133.05 a share. EOG Resources is up 73 cents a share to $125.90. And Oxy Petroleum is $1.33 higher at $67.49 a share. This is Aaron Irving with Oakley & Irving Wealth Management, serving business owners and energy industry professionals in the Pecos Valley and beyond. You can find us at oiwealth.com. We're at our offices in Artesia and Carlsbad. You can call us at 575-887-7075. All indices are unmanaged and may not be invested into directly. Securities are offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA, and the SIPC.
I was reading this one comment on that Hummer story. I don't like moving everything to touch screens, having non-mechanical functions. It's long been known and agreed upon simpler is more reliable. Yet all these layers of abstraction and slapping everything behind the computer seems to be a trend. I don't want a shift knob, give me a shifter. I don't want an electronic brake, give me a real brake. I don't want some stupid hidden pull cord for a hood release. I want a normal latch. They aren't even more convenient in these electronic forms, and they're more liable to break and be unfixable. Sincerely, a software engineer tired of software where it isn't needed.
Very good.
I like that comment. That's always a great place to read on some of those things. Aaron, have a wonderful day today.
All right, you do the same.
Thanks a lot. We're going to check in with Sean Hannity and see what he's got on the world of the news for today. That's next.
The truth and nothing but. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
They didn't talk about inflation. They didn't talk about record gas prices. They didn't talk about law and order, which is out of control, especially in places like Philadelphia. I mean, they're having record crime. We had, a man shot 20 times in Philly in broad daylight. I think they had, they passed 1,000 carjackings for the year recently. Things are that out of control. Record crime everywhere. They didn't talk about any of that stuff. And I don't think Democrats want to. And Jen Psaki's right. If this election is about Biden and the climate alarmist cultists in the Democratic Socialist Party, they will lose.
Keeping you on the straight path. Later today, it's the Sean Hannity Show.
War, inflation, and $30 trillion in debt. It's looking like 2008 all over again. Millions of Americans watched their retirement savings disappear, while those who invested in physical gold and silver were protected. And if you have $50,000 or more in your IRA, 401k, or savings, you could be at risk again. Right now, thousands of Americans are using an IRS loophole to add physical gold and silver to their retirement savings. So call 855-815-GOLD to get a free gold kit and learn how you could get $10,000 or more in free silver to protect your retirement savings. Goldco has an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau, and they have placed over $1 billion in precious metals. We could be looking at a recession worse than 2008, so don't wait. Call Goldco today. Call 855-815-GOLD. That's 855-815-GOLD.
Sales. Big O sales. Count on Big O Tires for great service and even better deals. Now through October 9th, save between $70 and $100 instantly on select sets of Nexen, Pirelli, Nitto, and Cooper tires with installation purchase. Big O Tires, the team you trust. Installation charges extra. Required on all 4 tires. Not valid with other offers. Eligibility may vary. Disposal fees extra and up to 10% shop fee based on non-discounted regular retail price not to exceed $35 where permitted. See store for details.
Join Hot New Country 92.9 The Brand for a live broadcast this Saturday from 10 to 1 at Heirloom Acres, east of Artesia. Fall time is officially here, and that means Heirloom Acres is ready for the fun. Come explore and get lost in the massive 10-acre corn maze. Take a trip into the patch to pick your own pumpkins. Take a ride on the zip line and more. We'll be on hand from 10 to 1, getting you geared up for the season and telling you all that's waiting for you down on the farm. See us Saturday, 10 to 1 at Heirloom Acres, 1706 East Main in Artesia with the
There
Brand.
are things you can do to improve the value of your current home if you plan to sell, and a few things you probably shouldn't do. The folks at Lois Oliver Real Estate are experts in real estate in Artesia and can help you with some great advice. If you want to talk to a local expert about buying or selling a home in Artesia, visit with any of the agents at Lois Oliver Real Estate. We know Artesia, and we're ready to help you buy or sell or find local experts who can answer your questions. Lois Oliver Real Estate. We love it here. Find us at 210 South Roselawn or online at loisoliverrealestate.com.
It's Chevy truck season at Guy Chevrolet Company in Artesia. The Chevy Silverado is as durable as it is dependable with its proven power and capability along with advanced technology. And this month you can make it your own with a $1,000 accessory allowance when you purchase or lease a Silverado 1500 or HD. So come on in and see us today at Guy Chevrolet Company on the corner of 1st and Main in Artesia or at guychevy.com.
Making a great deal better every day.
Pecos Valley Equipment, your John Deere dealer for Roswell and Artesia, congratulates the Eastern New Mexico State Fair on 100 years. Come out to all the shows, enjoy all the entertainment, the music, the food, and the rides as the Eastern New Mexico State Fair celebrates 100 years, October 3rd through the 8th. And Pecos Valley Equipment invites you to tune in to KSVPTV.com for all the junior livestock events. Come celebrate 100 years with the Eastern New Mexico State Fair. Pecos Valley Equipment, your Roswell and Artesia John Deere dealer, a proud sponsor of the Eastern New Mexico State Fair.
So, real quick, this is kind of our incredible story of the day from Incredible Printing here in town. It looks like there are some devices that actually that were envisioned during James Bond, some of the early James Bonds. The first James Bond movie, Dr. No, came out in 1962. And so we're coming up on the 60th anniversary of James Bond movies. And it looks like there's a few things that have actually made it into the deal. The underwater car. In The Spy Who Loved Me from 1977, Roger Moore played James Bond. He drives his Lotus Esprit Turbo off a dock and into the sea. But just when you think the hero is done, the vehicle's wheels are tucked away, the fins pop out, turns into a submarine, and whizzes through the water. In 2008, Swiss car designer came up with the design for the car and actually developed a vehicle that can do something similar to that. It's called the S-Cuba, cost around 750,000 pounds, and it was built by a company called Rins Speed. And they actually made a car that could do some of that. The eyes-on glasses system, the X-ray glasses. James Bond uses X-ray glasses to allow him to see under their suit jackets in The World Is Not Enough from 1999. About 14 years later, a pair of glasses developed by Avena Medical and Epson, they could achieve a similar result, but for a slightly less glamorous purpose. The eyes-on glasses system allows doctors and nurses to look through patients' skin to more easily locate veins for intravenous treatments. But yeah, I remember that in the movie. Pierce Brosnan was playing James Bond character at that time, and he could scan to see who had guns. The microchip implant. You remember this? 2006 Casino Royale. James Bond was played by Daniel Craig. Judi Dench was M, and they wanted to track him, and they injected a microchip that measures his vital signs and tracks his location. This becomes useful when they're trying to help out Daniel Craig character in the movie. We've yet to invent the identical implant for humans, but GPS tracking has become more commonplace through our smartphones for use in various apps, and many devices are now equipped with satellite connectivity so they can send emergency messages when there's no phone service, including the latest iPhone 14. So there's a lot of stuff that is envisioned in movies, whether it's sci-fi movies or whatever. Jetpacks. Remember in Thunderball from 1965, in the initial sequence when Sean Connery has to escape and get to his classic Aston Martin, he pops on a jetpack, and we're actually getting closer and closer to having more practical jetpacks that people can use in rescue situations and stuff like that. So a lot of these things are envisioned in the movies, and eventually they're coming true. You want to see another good sci-fi movie that has a lot of concepts that are more commonplace today? 2001 Space Odyssey. Stanley Kubrick was working with NASA folks when he came up with some of the design concepts that were implemented in the movie. Pretty neat stuff. Anyway, James Bond, 60 years old this year. Have a great day. Come out to the Eastern New Mexico State Fair if you're in Roswell, and we'll see you back here with more Good Morning Artesia tomorrow, 7 to 10. Clay and Buck will take things over from here and get you through the rest